Hi everybody, back with another video. My daughter is in the background playing with my wife's phone. Alright, so don't mind her. Don't mind her. You'll be hearing her cry in a bit. Then I'm gonna have to pick her up and attend to my baby girl. Alright, so making another video on slavery because this is one of the most misunderstood things in Christianity, where the unbeliever, they just spout things that they hear, things that they've heard, without actually looking into the documentation. And a lot of times when they speak about biblical slavery, they do so based on the slavery that they are acquainted with, which is the slavery that they read about that took place in America or took place in England. And they completely ignore the fact that England had its own slave code. America had its own slave code. I even heard this one guy, and I have him on video. Saying that the slavery of America was based on the slavery of the Bible. And I'm like, what? Have you read the American slave code and then compare that to the Bible slave code? And if you read the American slave code, where in the American slave code does it reference the Bible? Nowhere. It's just these people talk out of their imagination or talk out of someone's imagination, because a lot of these people, when they speak about slavery, they're just talking and repeating things that they've heard without looking into them on their own. And that's why a lot of topics I engage in on TikTok and that I record to put on YouTube, a lot of those topics include the variations of topics that I go on, YouTube with, or TikTok with. One of those topics is rightly understanding biblical slavery, because a lot of people don't understand it. They don't understand. But what I want to do is my favorite thing to do, which is worldview analysis and worldview comparison. In that all the people who don't believe in God, all the people who say they lack belief in a God, which is an indirect denial of God, by the way, all those people, upon what basis is slavery wrong? Here's the answer: your opinion. That's the only basis on which slavery is wrong. Your opinion. And your worldview not possessing a basis for objective, universal, absolute moral values, your worldview not possessing a basis for that, takes away your ability to complain coherently and consistently with your worldview that someone is wrong in what they do, in what they believe, in what they think, in how they act. It takes your ability away to complain coherently and consistently with your worldview. So every single time you look at the slavery in the Bible that was practiced in the ancient world, when slavery was a universal economic necessity, I want you to get this in your head, guys and women. As soon as you complain, you have essentially contradicted your worldview. You've contradicted your paradigm. In my worldview, assuming it's true that God exists, that God is the ultimate unifying, causal, natured entity who actualizes, sustains, and governs all things, the source of all facts that we are, have been, or will ever be acquainted with, the source of all possibility and impossibility. Assuming that God exists, he is the ultimate that dictates what is ultimately wrong and what is ultimately right. So, assuming my worldview is true, we have a basis as Christians for universal, objective, absolute moral values. So, I, as a Christian, I, as a believer in God, can say that slavery is objectively wrong, universally, for all time, everywhere. Slavery is wrong. And that is why when Christians used to go out and give the Great Commission, we would go to places where evil was, and we would try to reduce the evil. Things like suti, which is, widow burning, where in India, if you were married and your husband died or your husband passed away, in India, you would be required to be burned as your husband's body was being burned. Christians stopped that. In China, I believe, they practiced this thing called foot binding. When Christians went there, they stopped that. The gladiatorial games in Rome, when Christianity became the main religion of the empire, Christians advocated for stopping that. Infanticide, putting your child out in the open so that the child would pass away because you didn't want the child. Christians stopped that. So slavery is objectively evil. Slavery is objectively wrong. And this is what has been believed, or what was believed, by the earliest Christians. And when you look at slavery through the centuries, the timeline of slavery with reference to Christianity, I'm a Christian. What did Christians believe throughout the centuries about slavery? What did the leaders of the faith teach with reference to Christianity and their view on slavery? What did the councils command and teach about slavery? When we learn these things, when we know these things, and we deliberately misrepresent them, we are essentially creating a straw man fallacy where you are creating something that is not true about Christianity and then forcing it upon us. The Bible does not condone slavery. The Bible condemns slavery. It condemns it because the Bible says that we are all made in God's image. And if we're made in God's image, you are supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. And loving your neighbor is antithetical to enslaving your neighbor against their will. Therefore, slavery is wrong. Slavery is objectively wrong. Always been condemned by Christians throughout the centuries. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a file here. Hold on.
You might want to re-download that folder because I frequently update it with new additions, and there's 2 books in there that you may or may not have.
Yeah.
Within the folder, written by Paul Copan. Paul Copan written many books. One of them is called "Is God a Vindictive Bully?" and the other is God a Moral Monster? In each of those books, there's a superb chapter on slavery. And it's probably some of the finest writing I've come across on the issue of slavery.
Right.
It's just absolutely very scholarly written. Slavery is already, chattel slavery is prohibited by the Mosaic Law. That it is illegal under the Mosaic Law to kidnap somebody and sell them. Right? So when the Bible uses the word translated slave in the 20th century English translations, it's going to be the people who insist that that means chattel slavery as opposed to contractual servanthood, they're going to have to show in each passage unequivocally and unambiguously why it means chattel slavery, because there are many times when the Hebrew word that's translated slave, eved, cannot be referring whatsoever to chattel slavery. So if they're going to insist that any usage of eved in any given passage in the Old Testament means chattel slavery, they're going to have to make an argument for that, given the fact that it's prohibited by the Mosaic Law.
Right. It's because they have they have an agenda that they want to meet. So they want the Bible to teach chattel slavery or condone chattel slavery.
Yeah, well, they can't falsify the God of the Bible. So they're going to do the Saul Alinsky maneuver, smear and defame God. So when it says you can buy slaves from other countries, that's referring you can hire contractual workers from other countries. It's not talking about owning people. And when it says you can pass them on to your children, the actual Hebrew word means silver. It just means it's your possession. In other words, their contractual obligation can be passed on as an inheritance. Their contractual obligation to serve for, let's say, 3-4 years, whatever, that can be passed on to the children.
That's right.
So these people are just so sloppy. And look, they have a confirmation bias. They have an agenda. It's to smear the God of the Bible. They're not careful in looking at the Hebrew and the context. They're just doing a superficial reading and then running with it. By the way, don't forget to download that book. You're really going to enjoy it.
Yeah. I already downloaded it. I just haven't started reading it yet.
You mean you haven't finished it yet?
Haven't started reading it yet because
What's wrong with you?
I'm preaching tomorrow, Darth. I have a sermon to prepare for tomorrow. I'm preaching tomorrow. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. Got to make a sermon for Mother's Day. Yeah. I'm an upcoming pastor, man. Yeah. I just have a very defensive spirit for God, so I try to engage in apologetics. But I'm mainly a pastor, upcoming pastor.
Well, Cornelius Van Til said apologetics is the defense of the Christian worldview.
So I think that apologetics will be very beneficial for the kingdom of God, because I'm sure I'm going to have some questions from some young people or people on a whole as a pastor when I'm a pastor. So I have to engage in these things to know the answers. And I love pre-sup because you only have to know a few things, just the basics, to be able to defend the faith from the pre-sup position. And that's the biblical way to defend the faith.
God has revealed himself in creation. And he has revealed himself in the person of Jesus Christ with the rational impossibility of its negation. Now they can irrationally deny God. God allows them to do that. I mean, he could have made it so that they couldn't rationally, he could have made it so they couldn't irrationally deny him. But God allowing them to embrace irrational denials is a judgment. It's a temporal judgment.
Yeah.
Romans 1, their foolish hearts were darkened.
That is why when you actually listen to their reasoning as to why are you an atheist, you get a lot of non sequiturs. A lot of non sequiturs.
There's no evidence for
God. That's an argument from ignorance fallacy.
It's an appeal to ignorance fallacy. Yeah. It's also simply invoking incredulity. Telling me that you are unconvinced does not ground that God doesn't exist.
Exactly. So that's what I do. I just point out the fallacies when they come up. I point them out. because it's true. You cannot rationally deny God's existence. You can irrationally do it, but you can't rationally do it. It's all emotional denials, emotional rejections, but nothing
Well,
logical.
there's a paper in the cloud resources dealing. It should be in the apologetics folder. Excuse me, the Greg Bonson folder, dealing with what are called performative contradictions. That's another critical paper that every defender of the faith should read, because unbelievers, when they deny God, when they attack them, they're always committing a performative contradiction, but they're blissfully unaware.
Speaking of performative contradiction, one of the performative contradictions I encounter when I deal with this topic is the fact that an atheist will say that slavery in and of itself is wrong, but then you ask them, isn't that just your opinion? Why should I care about your opinion?
Yeah, they're, so
They have no grounding for objective morality.
like, I mean, they'll just say stupid things like, well, God, murdered people. Well, they don't understand that that's a performative contradiction, because God unaliving people or commanding people to unalive people is not murder. Because in order for it to qualify as murder, it has to violate an objective ethical standard, or it has to be, how should I put this, subject to a jurisdiction. Well, what jurisdiction is God subjected to?
Right. Right. And that's where we get the Latin word
By the
ex
way,
lex. Ex lex. God is above the law that He gave to man.
right.
He's not
So
bounded by the law He gave to man.
when they object to God unaliving people in the Old Testament, as unpleasant as these situations are from our perspective, the point is this: what we need to do is get at the root of the problem and just say to them, are you objecting to God placing the sentence of death upon us all? Because everyone is subject to that temporal judgment as a part of God's plan of redemptive history. Notice, this is what I love about Van Til. He's constantly contextualizing what he's talking about within the scope of God's plan of redemptive history. The unbelievers don't ever talk about God's plan. They're either ignorant or they simply ignore that what we have from Genesis to Revelation is the unfolding of God's redemptive plan of history, and then the adjudication, and then the restoration of all things. Right? But they don't speak of that, because then that will prick their conscience.
Exactly. And this one guy is saying that so God made rules that He's not following. What a hypocrite! No, because God made it for man, and when God became a man in the person of Jesus Christ, He kept those rules. So that's consistency for you. God didn't make the laws for Himself; He made the laws for humans. And when He became a man, He kept those laws perfectly.
When they talk about the unaliving of the Canaanites, the Amalekites, yeah, God had His own sufficient reasons, and I think because they had contracted sexually transmitted diseases and severe inbreeding genetic anomalies, that God unalived them in order to quarantine them from infecting other future generations.
Yeah, because they were even practicing bestiality.
Yeah, so God had His own sufficient reasons to do that. So here's another performative contradiction. Either it is the case that God is, and that He is the sum of all perfection, or not. Okay, A or not A.
Yeah, true dichotomy.
If we raise an objection against that which is the sum of all perfections, that's a contradiction. If one raises an objection toward something that it does not constitute the sum of all perfections, then they are making judgments and predications under ultimate imperfection. Therefore, there's no grounds to say anything as true. because it's undergirded by ultimate imperfection. You can't claim to speak the truth while standing in virtue of ultimate imperfection.
Right, because there's nothing guaranteeing the truth of your statements or propositions.
So God makes it very clear that he is perfect, he is without defect. So if they say, well, I don't actually believe that God is and that he's perfect, great, they just walked into the trap. Because now they're claiming to predicate, they're claiming to affirm what is and cannot be, while in virtue of and under the auspices of ultimate imperfection.
And you know, the thing is, these people always say you haven't proven God, and they keep ignoring the argument. God being defined through revelation of Scripture, that God is the ultimate that dictates and institutes all facts, all possibility and impossibility. Darth, the very fact that there is something rather than nothing proves that God exists. The very fact.
Well, when they say, quote, we haven't proven God, that is a claim that is non-sustainable. So what implicit within the claim that, quote, you haven't proven God, is that the world around us, as it presents itself to us, is not clearly emblematic of ultimate intentional design with the impossibility of the contrary. So they're claiming, whether they realize it or not, to be able to give a rational account that the world is an illusion of design.
Yeah.
Now, you can use AI to give you dozens and dozens and dozens of citations from atheist academics, which I have done, where they point out, yes, the world appears to be designed, but then they will go on to say that it is not. So therefore, the only alternative conceptual position is that the world is an illusion of design. If they deny that the world has an appearance of design, they're either lying or they're fundamentally ignorant. Because we can conclusively show that there's an overwhelming appearance of design. The very term natural selection demonstrates natural selection as opposed to what? Okay? It's natural selection over actual design.
Let me see, because I have the
What I'm doing
quotes.
is I'm just simply rewording Romans 1. The world overwhelmingly, from the smallest to the grandest scale, appears to be the product of ultimate intentional design with the impossibility of the contrary of arguing that it is an illusion of design. And when you bring it this way, they get very uncomfortable because they know that they can't defend that it's an illusion of design. By the way, in the atheist folder, in the anti-atheism subfolder, there's a Scott Shulkowski folder. In there is two great scholarly papers. One, Atheological Apologetics, and an easier to read paper called Atheist Teleology. That's a must read paper because although Scott, I'm not aware that he's a believer, he points out that when atheists criticize and attack intelligent design rationales, they're always smuggling in an implicit atheist teleology that is not argued for.
Now we have Drew coming up. I think I remember Drew, who was asking me about, he believes that there is a God, but he doesn't think that it's the Christian God because of all the evil in the world. I think you could probably help him with that.
Yeah, it's the same old problem.
Hey Drew, am I getting you right? Was that you?
More so, more or less. I can grant listen to Darth Dawkins saying that the world appears, well, the universe, the world appears to be intelligent design. Okay, I can grant you, say if I grant you that there is a God, but you dumb it down when you say this very God that created time, space, matter, all of existence, is outside of time and created time, but then he comes to an insignificant galaxy out of trillions of other galaxies.
Stop right there. Stop right
And
there.
wait, no, let me finish my thought, man.
Who's advocating that?
Can I please finish my thought?
No,
You always do this.
Before you continue.
No, let me finish, Nick. Let me finish.
I'm a moderator here.
Can I finish?
Hey, sir, you want to get kicked?
I'll drop, man, because I almost finished my thought, man.
Who was advocating that?
Adrian, can I finish my thought?
Advocating that.
Can I finish my thought?
Right, but you're not.
Can I finish my thought?
What worldview are you
Can I finish my thought?
Yeah, you explain.
Can I finish my thought?
Who advocates that?
Can I finish my thought?
I'm going to get rid of you.
Yeah, get rid of me, you meathead.
Yeah, grow a pair.
Yeah, all right, get rid of me.
Okay, yeah, so you
Can I finish my thought?
Okay, all right, I'm done.
Meathead Darth Dawkins, can I finish my thought?
So, another dumb as rocks person. So, what he's doing is he's invoking a caricature. Well, who advocates that? There's a straw man.
Yeah, you were just pointing out the straw man fallacy. It's all right. It's all right.
You see, because in the biblical worldview, God creates light and the earth first. The earth is his focal point upon which everything is created around it. So the earth may not be the coordinate center of the universe, but it is certainly the center of God's focal point.
Yeah, Darth. Well, a lot of people may think that you're lying when you say that all you got to do is just look these things up. I did look them up, and I found 20 quotes. Well, way more than that of leading scientists. I'm going to read from one of them, supporting the position that the universe is an illusion of design, which is a very indefensible position. So this is what Richard Dawkins said in his book, The Blind Watchmaker. Biology is the study of complicated things that give the appearance of having been designed, but it's an illusion. The eye, the cell, the phlegium, everything screams purpose, yet natural selection. Blind and undirected, builds complexity from simple beginnings. We don't need a designer. We don't need a designer. The illusion comes from our pattern-seeking brains. God-independent contingencies, mutations, drifts, deep time explain it all. No evidence for design, only evidence against it. So,
You can't say there's an illusion of design.
But that's indefensible, Darth. Nobody can defend an illusion of design. Nobody can.
If a skeptic academic says there's an illusion of design, then they are implicitly conceding that there's an appearance of design. You can't have an illusion of design without an appearance of design.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Joseph, welcome back. I hope that Darth can answer your question for you.
No, why the fuck do you have enough fuck that does no shit?
What?
It's pretty much like over here talking shit.
Get up your mouth or you're gonna get ejected.
I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want, you fucking old man.
Goodbye. Sorry you didn't grow up with a father.
Okay, Pookie or Poocie? What is that and how do you pronounce that? Pucci.
No, I think that's a troll.
Okay, he's not coming back up.
Yeah.
Hey guys, when Darth is here, he's in control, okay? He's in control when he's here.
Yeah, we know because he a bitch.
Goodbye, Pussy.
Bye, nigga. Dumbass bitch.
No, I'm white.
Hey, black people call everybody nigger. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what's up with that. It's an American thing, I think. I think it's an American thing. And it's such a double standard too. It's such a double standard. You can call everybody nigger, but nobody can call you nigger.
atheists say I'm a racist.
Yeah. I heard that a lot. Hey, everybody, coming from a black man, Darth is not a racist. Please stop saying that stuff. He's not a racist.
I don't care what somebody's color is or the shape of your eyes. I'm just interested is that you know, try to use the brains that God gave you and not be a culturalist.
You know, Darth, I was actually surprised to actually read leading scientists saying in their books, the universe is an illusion of design, an indefensible position. Indefensible.
Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of citations. Even Leonard Susskind, the atheist, internationally known physicist, said, yeah, the universe appears to be designed, but it's not.
Yeah. If something appears to be a certain way, with the impossibility of its rational denial, then it is that way. That's the universe. But once they admit that the universe appears to be designed, then we have a designer. How can you say it appears to be designed without a designer? And that's what they're running from. That's what they're running from. They don't want to admit it.
Designed by God, then our cognitive faculties are simply the product of chance and mutation.
Like even yesterday, this guy, this medical student, I was telling him that, after reading Jerry Bergman's book about natural selection, that the understanding is that natural selection, it removes and it adds. It removes and it adds. It creates. All the literature from leading scientists say that natural selection does not add anything. It doesn't add anything. It only eliminates. So how do you have, through the process of natural selection, a species having new genetic mutations that are beneficial from its ancestor that came before it? How do you have that through natural selection when it doesn't add anything?
Chance mutation combined by survival occurrences. It's chance combined with survival.
It doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense.
By the way, the cloud resources that you download, that is a lifetime supply. And I'm gonna update it probably in the next week or two.
Yeah, and send it over when you do it.
When I update it, what you should do is re-download every one of the main folders. And though it may be a little bit tedious, just do one folder a day or a night after I tell you I updated it, and you're just gonna have there's gonna be a ton of more resources in there. I mean, more than you can literally shake a stick at.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Yeah, I'm gonna remind you to send it over because what I did was I downloaded everything in my my iCloud. I have everything in my iCloud.
Here's what you do. Okay, just to simplify it. Set up two folders, right? One the old download, one the new one.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do because I'm gonna have to get everything again.
When you re-download one of the top level folders into the new folder, then you just delete its previous counterpart in the other one. Just do it once every day, and then in a week you'll have all of my. I have literally added hundreds of new resources. And by the way, I don't pick junk.
Yes, I can see that. I can see that.
Quality. I'm not trying to brag here. Everything I pick is something. Even books written by non-believers, I pick stuff that is not junk. That's good quality stuff.
Exactly. So send it over when it's updated so that I can get it.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, because I mean the resources.
And being that I'm an old geezer, when I croak, make sure you share the resources the remainder of your life with other aspiring apologists can benefit from.
Of course. I mean, I'm an upcoming pastor. This is going to be something that goes out to every one of my congregants who are interested in apologetics. I'm like, hey, I have a Christmas gift for you. That's going to be my intro.
People people say, "Oh, God doesn't answer prayer." Well, when I was a new believer, I asked God, "Please show me in a way that I can know with absolute certainty that you exist." Well, first of all, that's what the Bible shows. But when I finally got around to studying Van Til, and then Van Til began to explain the application of what the Bible says, it then showed the absolute impossibility, both ontologically and epistemologically, any opposing worldview. God answered that prayer.
Yes. Yes, and trust me, bro. The tag gives you absolute certainty about God's existence. You just have to reject it.
Is solidly biblical. It's simply it is a biblical recapitulation put into formal terms.
You have to suppress the truth and unrighteousness, as the Bible says, to reject it. It's an irrational denial. You literally believe that there are people out there who believe the universe is an illusion of design, and they try to defend that? This is crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. And every time I do it, every time I say, hey, defend for me that the universe is an illusion of design. Defend it. Let me see. Because that's what your leaders believe. Defend it for me. Can't do it. Can't do it. Darth probably has some errands to run. Usually, he's a very busy guy. So Darth, remember to send me over that folder, okay? So I can re-download everything. All right, let me see. So Drew, still here. Maybe not. Okay, maybe Drew left. Okay, Ape Boy for Life. Wanted to have a conversation with you. Let me try to bring you up. Why do you call yourself Ape Boy? Do you think that you came from an ape? You're muted, Ape Boy.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Why do you call yourself Ape Boy?
Well, it's just for fun. My profile pic was of the Ozaru ape. I don't know if you know the Ozaru apes in Dragon Ball. So pretty much my name was inspired from DBZ. So that's why I just call myself Ape Boy.
Okay, so are you an atheist?
No, I'm not. I'm not an atheist. I'm a believer.
Okay, that's very good, man. That's very good. All right,
Yeah.
keep me in your prayers, man, and thanks for the support. All right.
Sure, no problem.
Bless you. I thought it was an atheist because a lot of atheists believe that we're related to apes. We're related to apes. Yeah, that's why I try not to draw any conclusions about people. I always ask them, "Are you an atheist?" Hey, little one, don't do that. Hey, leave it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Come here. Come here. Here. I want to play with this. There you go. All right. So back to what I was saying before Dark came up. With reference to biblical slavery, a lot of times when this conversation comes up, the unbeliever does not do an internal evaluation of their worldview foundation before they open their mouth about slavery. When you say that slavery is wrong, and you don't qualify that by saying, well, it's just my opinion, you're contradicting your worldview. And anyways, let's see what we have here. So this guy's saying, obey my colonizer? Wow, okay. I'm gonna bring up Stumpy. Stumpy, are you an atheist?
That's a mistake. One hungry ant
Still loading up. Still loading up. I can hear you now, Stumpy. Are you an atheist?
Hello? Hello.
Yeah,
You can hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Are you an atheist? I can hear you very well. Are you an atheist? Can't hear you now. Breaking up now. Are you an atheist? Okay, bro. I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. A lot of static.
Still can't hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Okay. Now you're gone again.
My signal sucks balls.
Okay, I can hear you now.
I don't know. But my signal sucks balls more than Darth Dawkins.
Okay, are you an atheist?
It's weird.
Okay. When you have better signal, come back up, okay? Not, it's bad signal. Let me see if Drew comes back. Okay, Drew's not coming back. This guy who said I should obey my colonizer. Where is he? Where is he? Where did he go? I can't find him. I can't find him. I can't find him. All right. So, oh wait, this is not even done yet. It's 90 quotes. Oh boy, I wish Darth had stayed so I could finish editing my file here. All right. This is slavery through the 3 periods, well, 4 periods of the church. The first period would be the first 600 years, which I call the period of purity. The second period is the period of apostasy from 700 to 1500. And then we have the period of Reformation from the year 1500 to the year 1700 or 1700s. Then you have the period of aberrations. You have Mormonism, Seventh-day Adventism, Jehovah's Witnesses popping up, period of aberration. Then you have the modern period. That's from the 1900s to the present. If you were to look up everything that you can find on what Christians said about slavery from the earliest period to the present, you will find that Christians have always viewed slavery to be a wicked thing. They viewed it to be an evil. They viewed it to be wrong. And as Darth Dawkins said, you would have to prove from every text that chattel slavery is what is being taught there. But anyways, let me bring up this guy or this lady. Oh, Cody. Cody, are you an atheist?
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Are you an atheist?
Yeah.
All right. So I like to keep this on the worldview level so that we don't waste time talking about irrelevant things. What is it that's wrong with slavery in your worldview? And whatever you say, should people follow your moral, ethical framework?
My moral, ethical framework?
Yeah, should people follow it?
I think so.
And your moral, ethical framework is that we not own people and beat them with barbed wire every day, right?
Of course.
Okay. Why should people follow that of all cultures of all time?
Why would you not?
What in your worldview makes you have the slightest hint of thinking that's all right?
Oh, I don't think it's all right. I think it's evil. Well, you think it's evil too. I'm just trying to find out, why is your moral ethical framework universally binding on every person of all time?
It's not universally binding. It's a collection of societal thought.
So society determines morality?
I mean, in a sense, yes.
So in a society where it's okay to beat your slave with barbed wire, that's okay?
Do you disagree with the Yulin Festival?
The Yulin Festival? What's that?
It's a festival in China where they eat dogs.
I don't disagree with it. I just find it disgusting because I don't personally eat dogs.
You don't disagree with it, though?
I don't disagree with it in the sense of it being a moral wrong or moral evil. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to eat animals, but I just have a preference on not eating dogs.
Okay. So, one would disagree with you. Not saying me. I'm not culturally biased, but I mean, there's plenty of people that would disagree with you and freak out about that. Some being Christian, some being not. So,
I mean, that's totally fine.
Where's the objective morality in it?
It seems. Look. I'm just assuming for the sake of argument, Christianity is not true. God doesn't exist, and everything is subjective. If that's true, then slavery has no moral, ethical evil about it at all. It's just opinion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
like I said, it's decided.
So it's your opinion
from a society that, hey, owning people and beating them, this sucks.
Okay, so it sucks in your culture, but in other cultures it doesn't suck.
No, because it's been, I mean, we've pretty much universally agreed on that it sucks, that we don't want slavery. It doesn't help society in any way. It's brutal, it's archaic, it's barbaric.
So when you say we have universally agreed, you're making the statement that no human being on this planet agrees that they should own people and beat them with everything.
I'm sure there's nihilists out there that think it's fine.
Okay, so the statement...
Your God condones it. Your God gave rules for it.
So the statement, we all universally are not okay with it, was a false statement.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty fucking disingenuous argument there. I mean, you know exactly what I was saying by collectively as a society we agree with that. Are there going to be people out there that say, hey, there's nothing wrong with this? There's plenty of racists, there's plenty of nihilists or extreme nihilists or whoever else that are going to say that's totally fine.
Okay, so the
people
majority...
that have cognitive thinking skills and aren't fucking, like, living in the dark ages.
So
Example
the majority.
one, following a book that was written how many ever thousands of years ago, 200 years after the events happened.
So are you saying that the majority determines morality?
What's that?
Are you saying that the majority determines morality?
Why are you discrediting what society can dictate?
It's a simple question. Are you saying that the morality is determined by...
Why are you discrediting what a group of people will do?
I'm not discrediting anything. I'm asking you to justify what you're saying. Are you saying that the majority determines morality?
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
So that would mean that when the society and culture viewed slavery to be right, it was right.
That's what they agreed on, but things change.
Okay.
That's why you can't say morality is an objective thing.
So things change.
Slavery and said it was okay.
So that means if tomorrow society collectively says that slavery is okay and we should open up grape camps to inbreed women, that would be okay.
No, because people are going to
disagree. Okay, so it's a contradiction.
Why are you
So you're contradicting yourself.
Completely missing. No, you're just jumping and assuming.
I'm doing an internal critique, buddy. I'm doing an internal critique.
Changes, you go, oh, everyone collectively at the same time goes.
I'm doing an internal
it's
critique.
Okay now. No.
Not everybody at the same time. Majority. I'm using your words. Majority. If they say that slavery is okay, that it's okay. And you said no, which means you're contradicting yourself.
Check it out. And when people, even if it's majority, when there is minority saying, hey, this is shit, we don't agree with it, there's no objectivity to that. That is a subjective morality. It is a societal construct. I'm sure there is. There's a lot of things that are 100% instinctual, and we act on instinct for sure. But I mean, we've been around for so long
It's just like when you see a dog circling on his bed for whatever, I don't know the actual reason. I've heard the reasons of like flattening the grass or whatever. Genetics carry instinct.
Genetics carry instinct. Okay.
Say again?
Genetics carry instinct. Are you saying that our instinct to protect and survive with each other and preserve life is a genetic thing that was passed down?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with God. That has everything to do with evolution.
So evolution gave us the drive.
Before you say evolution's fake.
So are you saying that evolution gave us the drive for self-preservation and preserving life?
No, I would say the will to live is a natural instinct that I think everything comes from.
The will to live. Would you say that the will to live and by extension the will to have others live is an evolutionary development?
I think so, especially for a self-aware being like we are.
And that is for human beings having been evolved into human beings, right?
Say again?
And that is for human beings having evolved into human beings, right?
I guess I'm not really understanding what you mean by that. I don't know if it's...
No, I'm saying, so we have the ability to be self-aware. You're talking about human beings who have evolved from something else into being human beings, right?
Yes.
So if that's true, why is it that for most of human history, we've been doing the opposite? If evolution geared our evolution to the point of being human beings to want to will our own survival and the survival of others, but that is exactly the opposite of what we see for most of human history. We've been unaliving each other all around and everywhere.
Oh, sure. But I also think that's just another trait of, we're animals.
Okay,
is there a species on the planet that doesn't fight with its own species?
I was just trying to point out a contradiction in what you said. You said that evolution gave us the drive to want to preserve life of ourselves and of others, but that's the opposite of what history shows us. So is evolution confused? Is evolution confused?
You're narrowing down the entire spectrum of evolution to one thing?
No.
You're going to tell me that you can't simultaneously have human beings that fight and, fight for position, but, before we became what we became or whatever else. You're going to tell me that just because we're a social animal and we want good for other human beings that people aren't going to fight?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if it is true that evolution gave human beings the drive to want to preserve their life and the lives of others, but we see human beings for most of human history not preserving life, but actually unaliving a lot of people, especially in the 20th century, evolution seems to be confused.
No, it's just, it's a natural process.
It's a natural process.
So basically what you're telling me is that more people kill each other than people do help each other.
What I'm saying is, for most of human history, up until recently, the 21st century that we're in right now, such a peaceful time right now in history. For most of human history, going back, what we've done mostly is not preserve life. It's take life. Right. So evolution to me seems to be confused.
Thousands and thousands of years ago, were our brains anywhere near what they are now?
Brains? Wait. Hold on. Are you saying that we were less evolved 2,000 years ago? Weren't we human beings 2,000 years ago?
That's what evolution does.
Wait. Hold on. Weren't we... Wait. People who lived 2,000 years ago, weren't they human beings or were they less evolved animals?
We are animals. We're still animals, regardless of 2,000 years ago, 2,000... Yes, 2,000 years ago...
You said they were less evolved.
Our brains have evolved since 2,000 years. Guaranteed. What kind of question is that? So Augustine, who was writing 1,500 years ago, Gregory of Nyssa writing 2,000 years ago, guys who were writing, they had less evolved brains, right? Yes.
Okay. Albert Einstein, who lived a while back ago, he had a less evolved brain too.
So you're trying to, again, consolidate everything into one person. So sitting there and saying that just because we had a genetic freak like Einstein or Newton that the rest of society was operating on that level? We still don't have minds.
Oh no,
I mean there are, but
that's not what I'm
still don't
saying.
have,
That's not what I'm saying.
collectively
You said
as a population, we don't even have fucking, most people in the population don't even come close to Albert Einstein.
you
Like,
said that that human beings on a whole.
No. I know you're smiling because you think you have me in a gotcha.
I'm gonna let
What
you
you're
finish.
doing
Go ahead.
It's like you're completely
Tell me when you're done.
discrediting every other single variable when it comes to this. It's just like right now, like even now, we still see people like Michael Phelps, for example. The dude was genetically built to fucking swim. I mean, what would that come from? Other than, I know you're, oh, God did it. But do you understand what I'm saying? The mind 2,000 years ago, 1,500, 5,000, was not the mind it is today.
And you're basing this off evolution, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about it. Can you tell me what natural selection is?
Dude.
I'm letting you finish. I'm letting you talk. I want to be educated. What is natural selection in your worldview?
I mean, I'm not the most well-versed in, like, biology by any means.
Me neither.
I definitely do believe in evolution from what I've learned about it, but I am not super, like, I'm not super equipped to have the argument, like, if we're going to start breaking things down into, like, biology and what time things changed and stuff like that. But I mean, in a general speaking sense of what I said of 2,000 years ago, was our brain different from now? I mean, that does not, history not show that? Look at the way we were practicing medicine in the 20s.
I would say that we have had technological advancements, not different brains, bro. Like you're speaking as though the people of the past.
Technological advancements, sure, but I mean, do you think that comes? Do you think somebody from 5,000 years ago could look at what we did in that time and comprehend all of it?
No, what I'm saying is when you're making a distinction between brains developing instead of looking at what is actually different in our time, which is technology. My argument is
the development of technology comes from what?
My argument is this: human beings have always been intelligent and smart. They just didn't think of certain things.
It take hundreds of years to develop the technology that we have now
because they didn't think about it.
Why was it a boom?
They didn't think about it.
Oh, so why?
But we have people like we have geniuses throughout history for thousands of years who didn't think about these things. And your argument is their brains were underdeveloped?
Dude,
that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So what you're telling me is, they didn't think about the need or want to, fly or way to communicate with each other without traveling across.
Let's use that argument. Because you haven't thought of an invention. Because you personally haven't thought of an invention that can benefit society today. Is your brain less developed?
Sure I have. I mean, I haven't ever developed it, but I mean, everybody has ideas. Sometimes you just don't know where to start with them.
Okay, so because you don't know where to start with them, but they did, your brain is less developed than them?
But why didn't they start earlier? You're missing the point.
No, I'm talking about the modern period.
Why did we have a technological boom?
I'm talking about today. I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, I know you're talking about today because you're completely missing the point.
No, I'm trying to use your point to show you that what you're saying is nonsense, to me, at least.
So you picked out a few people from history that had a very high intelligence, okay?
Which disproves your statement that brains on a collective was less evolved.
Just because there was a few people who were lucky enough to be blessed with that intelligence, in your words, why do you think those people account for everybody else in the world and that there's no evolution of the brain from 2,000 years ago?
Because you made the statement that human brains, that's a universal claim, was not developed as it is today, which means that if I were to find one guy to contradict that, that would destroy your entire worldview. And I find one guy
does not destroy that in any way. What are you talking about?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because you made a universal quantifier claim that human brains, all of us, were less evolved.
Guys.
What?
All right.
If you say that we were less evolved, But then I can find one guy who was smarter than everybody else. That disproves your argument.
So the fucking Neanderthal or the cavemen that invented the wheel, man, that just means they were all smart as us.
I don't believe that nonsense, bro.
That's your point you just made.
I don't believe that nonsense. I don't believe that we were cavemen.
You just made one person.
I don't believe that we were cavemen.
Means that all brains were the same because of one guy, and then the fucking caveman that invented the fucking wheel breaks that rule. I guess.
I don't believe in cavemen.
Be consistent, dude.
I don't believe in cavemen. You do. I don't. You think we came from a common ancestor. I don't.
Yeah, you believe we came from God putting two white people in the jungle and they fucked and now we got people. That's much more.
I don't know. You're making it racial, but that's okay. Natural selection.
No, I'm not making it racial. You're just sensitive.
You're the one who said white people. I didn't say anything about race.
Do white people sunburn easier than black or brown people?
I'm not going to talk about race. Let's get back to the topic. Let's get back to the topic. So natural selection, is it your position that natural selection...
Just for the record, you've completely abandoned the topic.
No, I haven't. I asked you about natural selection, which is completely related to developing and evolving brains, right?
The whole point of this conversation to begin with was to talk about the existence of God.
Oh no! The whole point of the conversation was to talk about slavery.
The first question you asked me was, "Am I atheist?"
Yes, and that was completely related to why you think that slavery is wrong, and you conceded that it is all opinion based. And then we got into society's brains developed to the point that we are now.
Morality is subjective.
Huh?
I said morality is subjective.
Yes, and then you said that it was based on human agreement because of developed brains, and we now understand better because our brains developed. Completely related to the topic.
So because of evolution and because of societal agreement.
Right. So I don't believe in evolution, and I don't believe in natural selection, and I'm going to ask you some questions about this belief that you have.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Wait, before you do, I want to ask you about natural selection. Is it the case that natural selection eliminates and creates new genetic mutations so that we can have beneficial species moving forward in the evolutionary chain?
The mutations are random.
Okay, random mutations that take place that are beneficial for the future posterity from the ancestor. Is that your perspective?
They're not always beneficial, though.
Huh?
They're not always beneficial.
They're not always beneficial, but some are beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Or else we wouldn't get to where we are, right?
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest. Okay. So why is it the case that when we read the literature in the peer review on natural selection, all we know about natural selection is that it eliminates, it never creates?
I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from two leading scientists, and then you can ask me your question, okay? So we have an evolutionary biologist. This man's name is Richard Dawkins. Don't believe me, just read what he says. Richard Dawkins, in his book, The Blind Watchmaker, Why Evidence of Evolution Reveals a Universe Without Design, page 139, he says, we assume that natural selection can create complex adaptation. One day, we'll see the full pathway. Natural selection is the only known process capable of creating the illusion of design, but the exact step-by-step pathway for many complex structures are not yet fully mapped. We hope that with advancing genetics and development biology, these things will become clear. One last quote, Stephen Jay Gould, paleontologist, he says, we hope natural selection explains creation of complexity. It's our best assumption. Natural selection is a powerful mechanism for adaptation, but the fossil record shows punctuation and stasis, not gradualism. We expect future research to reconcile this with the theory. This is what the experts say. Just 2 out of 20 quotes here. So my question to you is...
2 people out of an entire community that collectively agrees that we have transitional fossils.
Wait. Hold on. I'm not talking about the fossils. I'm talking about natural selection. We can get to the fossils if you want. and what they say about it. I quoted two.
It's directly related to what you were talking about.
The fossils.
It was stasis and things have not changed.
The fossil record does not show gradualism. It shows stasis.
No, we definitely have transitional fossils.
We have transitional fossils, which means that we have gradualism, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think you understand. Like when we have this argument of evolution, I don't think. I feel like, and I'm not even just saying this to be a dick or anything. I genuinely feel like you guys don't understand when we say billions of years of evolution. I don't think you understand how long a billion years is.
Okay, let me bring up the experts.
I think you're making okay. I genuinely think you guys are like thinking this happened within 1,000 years.
The experts say that the fossil record shows stasis, not gradualism. I have the evidence right in front of me. You say different.
Okay,
Which
here's
expert?
the thing. I can't argue it.
Which
so
expert?
No point in telling me. I don't know who these people are. I don't know their credentials, and I don't know what the rest of. I know a bit that the rest of the scientific community would probably disagree with that, but I don't know where these guys came from. I know nothing about them, so I can't argue with their quotes.
Okay, so who do you have as an expert who says that we see gradualism and not stasis?
What's that?
Who do you have as an expert in the field of science who says that the fossil record shows unequivocally gradualism and not stasis? Because what I have is that it shows stasis, not gradualism.
Sure. Let me grab my Rolodex and go through and look at every single person I've fucking read.
Okay. I want to be fair to you. Okay, I want to be fair to you. Forget it. I just wanted to say that the quotes I have show that gradualism is not what's seen in the fossil record. It's stasis. You can, confirm or deny that. And earlier, natural selection. The hypothesis is that natural selection weeds out the weak and it creates new genetic mutations that are beneficial, random genetic mutations that are beneficial. But that's not what the literature says. So I have my reasons why I don't believe these things outside of believing in God. And, these things are assumptions that I read earlier and hopes, but they are not evidence. They're hopes and assumptions. So ask me your question. What was your question?
If two people are having an argument, and this is a question that I don't know if you've ever watched I don't really watch him, but I saw the argument come up in a debate from Destiny. If two people are having an argument, when one person says unaliving is good, and one person says unaliving is bad, and they've both received divine intervention, who's right and who's wrong?
They've both received divine intervention. The one who's right would be
divine revelation. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Divine revelation. The one who says that schmurdering is wrong would be the one who's right because of an external standard that dictates that.
How can you prove that?
By looking at the external standard.
There's no external standard. They both received divine revelation.
The external standard is the Word of God, the Bible.
Right. And the man that said that schmurder is good received divine revelation and said that God said it is good.
That is how we distinguish between those who rose up in the 1800s, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, who all say that they had a divine revelation. Even the religion of Islam, where Muhammad said that divine intervention came to him. We in our worldview, let me try to explain.
Is that a societal
Wait, hold on. In my worldview, you have to deal with my worldview. I'm a Presbyterian. I do not believe that God speaks to people outside of his word, okay? So I'm going to answer you according to my worldview.
So then answer it hypothetically. Let's say you do believe that. How do you prove who's right and who's wrong?
If I believed that, there's no way of proving it, but I don't believe it, so I don't have to prove it.
Okay, so then morality is subjective.
No, it's not subjective. Because
yes, it is. Because your entire argument to that is I believe something.
You asked me the question. If I believed that nonsense that God still speaks to people today, there would be no way of disproving whether someone was being spoken to by God. But I don't believe that. I don't.
Right.
My position is that God does not speak to people. My position is God does not speak to people outside of his word. And you're talking about
You're saying I believe, like believing is somehow ridiculed when you believe in natural selection and believe the fossil record shows gradualism when it doesn't. You believe these things.
I mean, like I said, I don't have anybody that I can cite and source. Just
right.
Like you
so
did.
You don't have the evidence. You believe.
But
Perfect.
I've listened to plenty of. I've listened to plenty of these debates. I've seen the sources rattled off. I've seen enough content that I know. You've
seen a gish gallop.
The evidence suggests
what evidence?
We're just saying. The evidence suggests that much more than a God existing.
What evidence shows gradualism rather than stasis in the fossil record?
I just told you there's transitional fossils.
You just told me by what's the source? What's the expert who said this?
I don't know. Google it for me.
You don't know. So you see what's happening here? So you are making claims that you haven't justified, which are beliefs.
Yeah, but I literally told you that I didn't have a direct source.
Right. So in this conversation,
I can just pull up right now.
So in this conversation,
I'm like a fucking professional TikTok debater, dude.
Me neither. You think I'm a professional TikTok debater? I'm not a professional debater. I'm just a regular guy trying to have a conversation with you.
With notes and sources pulled up ready for the argument, which I don't have.
Okay. That's fair. I can see it. I got you. All right. So I'm just trying to be fair to you, man. Look, you're ridiculing belief as if it's somehow a win or a gotcha. And I'm pointing out that you guys have beliefs too. Have you heard of the problem of induction in science, where you literally have to believe that the future will be like the past in order to do science? You heard of that?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay, so what I'm trying to point out is, don't ridicule believe as if it's somehow you're superior to us believers.
I'm ridiculing believe because I'm ridiculing the idea of a one creator. There's no substantial evidence for God. There's none.
I want you to use the word no substantial empirical evidence, because that's what you mean, empirical evidence.
There is no empirical evidence, correct. That's
Say
honestly
that.
a better way of putting it.
Say that.
And I know what your argument is to that.
What
it exists outside of space and time and blah, blah, blah.
No, you got to ask me my argument before you make a joke.
That's what everybody says, man. That's what everybody always says.
That's not my argument.
What is yours?
My argument in a syllogism is this. Premise one, do you know what a syllogism is, by the way?
Say again?
Do you know what a syllogism is?
I don't. Educate me.
Okay. So a syllogism, two premises followed by a conclusion, where the conclusion follows. So if premise one, if it rains outside, then it's wet outside. Premise two, it rained outside. Conclusion, therefore it's wet outside. It follows from the premises. So my argument for God's existence is not that he exists outside of space and time, blah, 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 blah. No. My argument is premise one, if intelligibility obtains, then a rational, transcendental, ontological grounding must exist. Premise two, intelligibility does obtain. Premise three, only the triune God of the Bible is the transcendental, personal, ontological grounding, the only possible grounding. Conclusion, therefore God exists. So what I say is, because we have intelligibility, because we have the ability to understand the universe and we have something rather than nothing, it proves in my worldview, not in someone else's worldview, that there is God. Not empirical evidence, that there is God.
That's not empirical evidence.
So of course it's not.
That's why I choose to be an atheist.
But that's the problem, though, Cody. That's a problem, though, because you do not treat the problem of induction the same way you do God's existence. And here's what I mean. The problem of induction is this. You don't have any empirical evidence to prove that the inductive methodology of the universe or the uniformity of nature is true. All you have is a belief that it's true, and then you do science. But science can't prove it. Therefore, there's no empirical evidence for it. But you believe that instead of God.
But that's why also that anybody who, like you said, follows science and follows what we're able to observe says the same thing. We don't know why we exist.
So your worldview is shrouded in mystery. It's shrouded in a lot of I don't knows.
I have no idea what the universe is. The closest thing I get to that is I do a lot of astrophotography. So that unintentionally invokes that thought of you get a broader sense and I guess, more of an understanding when you're kind of looking at it all the time and seeing how far these distances are between each other, and the wonder of looking at something, how many ever million light years away.
Yeah.
I guess when it really comes down to it is like, why is it not okay to not know? Why do we have to have an answer?
I'm never going to say it's not okay to not know, because when it comes on to contingent things in our world, it's okay to not know. I don't know if you have $1,000 in your pocket. I don't know, and that's okay. But when it comes on to non-contingent things, like what is it that is ultimate, that brought everything into existence?
Why are you not okay with? Why is it just so much easier? Why is it so much easier to believe? Oh, boom! God, 7 days made the earth. Blah blah blah. Why is that easier to believe than, hey man, we got no idea?
Hey, the Bible is self-attesting, so we believe based upon its self-attesting nature. But before you jump on that, I want to point something out again. Okay, if you say that I have to see empirical evidence to believe X, or I have to get empirical evidence to believe X, but you believe something else without empirical evidence, you violate your criteria of belief when you do that, and that's a contradiction. That's what I'm pointing out.
What are you saying that I believe?
I hold the position that you believe that the universe is uniform, and you believe in the principle of induction, because these things are not proven empirically. You have to believe them. And since you do, that's a contradiction I'm trying to point out here.
But it's not. I mean, that's not what I believe, because there's so much of the universe that we don't even know what the hell dark matter is.
So wait, are you saying to me right now that you don't believe that the future will resemble the past?
I have no idea.
Now you're saying you don't know, but are you saying that you don't believe that the future will be like the past?
There's no way to say.
Okay, I'll prove something to you. So there is something called a performative contradiction, where the actions of someone contradicts what their actual position is. Okay? You get up every morning and you go to the bathroom and you take up the toothpaste and you squeeze the toothpaste to put it on your toothbrush.
Let me interrupt you real quick. So
you expect that the toothpaste.
Are you saying like close, like future, as in like referring to like a few days, a few weeks? Like, is that more on the scale of what you're saying?
No. What I mean is, the laws of nature, the laws of physics, the laws of nature. You believe that they will act regular by virtue of how you act every day. You believe they act regular by virtue of how you act every day. Not what you say.
Yeah, sure, I can agree with that.
Not what you think. Okay, so that's what I'm pointing out. Because even if you had said that you don't believe that, your actions show differently. Because every time you speak, you're assuming that your words mean the same thing they did 5 minutes ago. Every time you take up your phone, you're assuming that the laws of physics will act the same way they did 5 minutes ago. Every single time. That's what I'm pointing out. You have to believe that to do science, because the scientific method itself can't prove that. It can't prove.
Yeah, sure it can, because it's an action that's been observed. Like when I open my garage door, I've seen my garage door open 1,000 times. There's no reason for me to assume it won't, other than it breaking down. But take that out of the equation. It's been observed.
Okay, so this is what Bertrand Russell, an atheistic philosopher, pointed out. That every time you try to prove induction and you appeal to the past to prove it, you are committing a fallacy called begging the question, in that you can't appeal to the past about a question.
It's not appealing to the past. It's appealing to an observed, like, let's use the word experiment.
That's the word.
I wake up, I go outside, I open the garage door.
That's the key word.
I do the same thing the next day. After 40 times, isn't it pretty safe to conclude that it's going to open tomorrow?
You used the key word, Cody. You said observed. That's past tense. You observed it, so you're using what you've observed to justify what will happen.
That's the entire scientific method, dude.
Perfect. The entire scientific method is based on observation, but it's also based on the belief that what you observe will continue on into the future, which means that you are basing everything on the principle of induction. But don't believe me. Are you someone who thinks that AI is reliable when you ask it questions?
No.
Okay, so I couldn't ask ChatGPT if the scientific method of induction is based on belief and not evidence.
I don't know. I mean, I don't use AI enough to know
What about Google?
Have you seen that guy that trolls AI all the time?
No, I haven't seen him. But what about Google?
He's really funny.
If you look up Google,
he does very obvious things like ask AI if there are two, how many R's are in the word strawberry, and the AI client answered that there was two.
Yeah. That sounds like a very fun thing to do. I'm gonna have to try it one day. Do you think that Google is reliable? If I were to look something up on Google?
Yeah.
Okay,
when I say that, I don't think clicking the first result is like, boom, here you go, here's definitive everything. I think you definitely have to sift through. There's what do they say? Isn't there more literature on the internet written every single day than we've ever had written in books, just uploaded every day?
I have no idea. Well, I can't confirm or deny that principle of induction.
I wasn't saying it as in a fact or anything like that. I just meant it in I thought I heard that fact somewhere or something like that. But yeah, I think the internet is definitely a reliable source of information if you're getting it from the right parts. If you Google search is it safe to stab myself in the eye with my thumb? You weirdly might get something on a Reddit post that's absolutely.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this claim, and then I'm going to read from what I just typed in, and then I'm going to give you the time to go and look this up for yourself, because this is actually the foundation of everything that we're talking about right now. Okay? So I said that science relies on induction, but induction itself isn't proven scientifically, and science is based on proving things empirically. And you said that you don't believe in God because there is no empirical evidence for him. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm one of those Christians who will tell you right now, God is not a physical entity that you can look at and say, hey, there's empirical evidence for God. So I'm never claiming that. And I'm going to say right now, there is no empirical evidence in that sense for God. I'm going to admit that to you right now. And I'm not making an empirical claim about God's existence. But what I'm pointing out is this. Everybody I speak to thus far, they believe something without empirical evidence, and it's called induction. And that's what I want you to look up for me after I read this to you, and then you can go and see if what I'm saying is bullshit. Okay, so when I look it up, it says science relies on induction, projecting past observations into future unobserved events, which is a philosophical assumption rather than a scientifically proven fact. This problem of induction means scientific knowledge is provisional, offering high confidence through evidence, but not absolute deductive certainty. Because of the problem of induction, science has not proven its philosophical assumption empirically. All you gotta do is look that up. That was a Google search, because this is common knowledge. So if this is true, Cody, you believe induction without empirical evidence, but you don't believe in God without empirical evidence, which is a contradiction, because your standard is.
No, it's not, because I don't think empirical evidence is 100% proof of anything. And a perfect example of that is we know gravity exists, or unless you're a flat earther. You're not a flat earther, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so we know gravity exists, but we don't know how gravity interacts with dark matter.
Oh, that's a gap in knowledge about something that is not on the earth, bro.
Right, but all we can do, we have, dark matter is essentially odorless and colorless, and we have to use certain equipment to detect it. But the point I'm making is we don't know how gravity interacts with that, but we know that gravity exists.
And I'm not saying that we don't know that gravity exists. What I'm pointing out is the scientific experiments based on hypothesis and observation and testing and study that we do on the earth, we have to believe, and when I say we, I mean anybody who does science, we have to believe in something that we cannot prove empirically. And if someone says...
Yeah, but that was the point I was making, right? That's why when people, a lot of people just don't know what the definition of scientific theory is. And I'm not saying you, I'm just saying from, when you hear people talking or you have a conversation with it. But that's why, gravity is considered, it is a law, but it is also still considered scientific theory, because it is the best explanation we basically have, and we can measure it and observe it. But again, the reason why it's not a complete, hey, we have 100% guarantee every single thing about gravity is we don't know how it interacts with a lot of stuff in space.
Right. So
until we can observe that, until we can experiment with it, until we can definitively come down and have peer-reviewed study on it and say, hey, this is happening, it's not a guarantee. It's only empirical evidence and an understanding as far as we've gotten until someone comes along and improves on that. Perfect example of that was Newton to Einstein.
Right. So this is so
that was what we went with for a long time, and there was evidence of that until Einstein's theory of relativity came around, and we're like, oh shit, yeah, this is a lot better.
So here's the point I'm making. If your standard is you haven't seen any empirical evidence for God, therefore you don't believe in God, that's totally fine. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. Do you think that it's a double standard for someone to say, I will not accept empirical evidence. Sorry, I will not accept the belief in X because there is no empirical evidence for it. But then they say, on the other hand, I will accept this over here without empirical evidence. Do you think that would be a double standard?
To say like, I believe in something with no empirical evidence. And reiterate your point, please.
All right. Okay. So proposition A, proposition B. A subject says, I don't believe anything unless I have some empirical evidence for it. Okay. So this individual says proposition A has empirical evidence, therefore I believe it because it meets my standard. Proposition B does not have empirical evidence, therefore I don't believe it. Would you say that person is following his standard right there?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Proposition C does not have any empirical evidence, but this individual accepts that. And proposition D does not have empirical evidence, but this person does not accept that. So they accept one without empirical evidence, and they don't accept the other without empirical evidence. Would you say that there's any double standard or contradiction in that person's worldview right there, in their standard?
How could one person think all those things? Are you saying those are different people?
Okay, so I'm gonna use God. People say there's no empirical evidence for God, therefore I don't believe in God. But there's no empirical evidence for the scientific method of induction, but I still believe it. Would you say that, not saying that's you, would you say that person right there would be contradicting their standard?
Yeah, but what example can you give of scientific practice that has no empirical evidence?
The very foundation of science itself, induction. It has no scientific evidence for it. It's a philosophical assumption.
It's definitely a Philbro argument, but it doesn't.
No. It's not even a Philbro argument, bro.
It is, dude.
It's a fact.
The empirical evidence comes from exactly what the scientific method is. Like we said, observation and peer review.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
Hypothesis,
you're not getting what I'm saying. So I'm not talking about observation. I'm talking about the assumptions before the observation. The assumptions themselves are philosophical assumptions. Are you aware that
I don't know if I necessarily agree with calling them assumptions. I think they're more of questions.
Let me ask you, are you aware that the scientific method itself is based on philosophy?
In a way, yeah, right? Like, I mean, you have to kind of think about whatever it is you're wanting to study. I mean, you got to think about that in some way, I guess.
No, I mean as its foundation.
Philosophy?
As its foundation.
Sure, I guess I'll agree with that.
Okay, so it's based on philosophy as its foundation. Don't you know that philosophy is shrouded in belief and assumptions?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna argue that point. Like you have to.
So you're getting it. So if you hold the position that you have beliefs that are not proven empirically, but you reject God because He's not proven empirically, that's a double standard.
I don't think they're beliefs. I think they're questions. I think when I'm talking about philosophy and I'm talking about Newton's sitting there, why did the apple fall on my head? I don't think that was a question of like, I believe this. It was, why the fuck did that happen? I'm going to figure it out. That's the standpoint I'm making.
Oh, the standpoint I'm making is that they're not questions. They're actually beliefs that are disguised.
But that's not true.
They're beliefs that are disguised under the word assumption. But assumption
they're not assumption. They're questions.
Let me prove it. I just asked Google. It says, yes, the scientific method is fundamentally based on unprovable philosophical assumptions as detailed in the Standard Encyclopedia of Philosophy on Reddit. And I'm going to look up what does the word assumption mean. What is assumption? An assumption is a belief, supposition, or proposition taken for granted as true without concrete proof or evidence.
Okay, but that's the point. That's the point I just made. It's a proposition.
No, you said it was a question.
Yeah, but that is, I mean, it's two of the two fucking wings of the same bird, dude.
No, bro, no.
On my head. Here's
No.
the proposition. It might be a force, whatever he called it at the time. Might be a force called, let's say it's called gravity.
No, you negated.
Can you prove that? And then you use the scientific method to prove
Cody, both of us.
A proposition or a question. This is a really weird argument.
Cody, you and I negated each other's propositions just now. I negated what you said when you said they're just questions. And you negated what I said when I said they're assumptions, which are beliefs. And I just looked up something on Google, and it said assumption is a belief. So I was right, and you were wrong.
Dude, there was, how many other words came? Proposition, like you said, whether we define that as an assumption or a question or a proposition or whatever you want to call it, the idea is not starting from a man sitting here and believing something. How do I explain this? There has to be some kind of event to trigger that thought process, right? And like I said, I'll go back to the Newton thing of an apple. The whole reason that assumption, if we're using that word, came into play is because he got hit and wanted to know why and why that happened. And then he searched for it and found out what we use today, or some of what we use today. What belief system is that? That wasn't a belief system.
Well, I'm going to point out.
An attempt to discover and learn.
I'm going to point out that the scientific method was discovered by Christians, and they practiced it because they had a belief that God created the universe and he keeps it regular. Therefore, we can expect the future to be like the past. That is actually consistent with my worldview. That's what I'm pointing at. If you look up the history of science, the scientific method, you're going to find where Christians were the one who developed it, not atheists, not anybody else. And also, I'm going to say again, an assumption is a belief. If you look it up, you'll see what I'm saying. It's a belief.
Okay, I'm asking you to believe.
And finally, the scientific, the principle of induction is a belief that science is based on, a belief that is from philosophy, that is not accompanied by any empirical evidence, but the atheist will accept that belief and reject God based on him not having an empirical evidence. That's a double standard, it's a contradiction, and it's inconsistent.
That is such a,
it's
I don't
fact.
even know what word you use, man. That's so, it's so circular.
It's a fact.
It's just trying to make it, like, you're trying to make the point that, like, oh, you believe in something, and since I believe in something, you do the same exact thing. That's not even close. That is two entirely different scenarios.
No. What I'm doing is I'm pointing out a double standard, and I'm pointing out
you're pointing out
an
a double standard that
inconsistency.
you created. The question that I just asked you is, what belief did he have? I don't need
Isaac Newton was
whatever else. What belief did he have when he got hit with a fucking apple and wanted to know why? How are you not seeing that as a question?
Isaac Newton was a Christian. So if I were to tell you what did he believe, I would say that he believed that God created the world and that the world has regularity and uniformity, so he could make a theory or hypothesis.
What does that have to do with him trying to discover why gravity exists?
You asked me what he believed. You asked me what he believed.
What does that have to do with it?
What it has to do with it is this. If it is true that God created the universe and God keeps the universe regular, then you can expect that things will act the same way over time, gravity included. That's what he would believe. I must answer your question. Isaac Newton was not an atheist. He was a Christian. Why would that have
to be the foundation of that?
Why does that have to be the foundation?
If I stub my toe right now, if I stub my toe on the kitchen counter, why would I need to go back and be like, oh man, do I believe in God or not? What physics happen? Do you get the point I'm making?
I was answering your question about Newton, man. You're not Newton. So I can't answer your question about what you're believing in your head when you stub your toe on a
Okay,
a
so
table.
why would I
don't
need
know.
to go down to a foundational world view, whether or not God exists, to figure out what just happened of how I stubbed my toe? That's completely irrelevant.
The reason why I would say that you would, if you were to peel back the layers of your worldview, is because everything has an ultimate. Everything has an ultimate. Your beliefs, your perspectives, everything has
And
an
there's
ultimate.
no empirical evidence to suggest that. And
There
then
is
we're
no-
going to keep going in a circle.
Wait, there is no empirical evidence to suggest that we all have an ultimate, and there is no empirical evidence to suggest that the scientific method of induction is real, but you believe it anyway.
You keep Darth Dawkins in maybe with that. With the
No,
induction shit.
Darth Dawkins doesn't even use that argument, bro. Have you heard Darth
He does all
Dawkins?
the time. I've listened to that idiot 1,000 fucking times. He's a pseudo-intellectual that sits here and rambles big words to try to get people in.
I didn't use one big word
You don't
just
know what
now.
that means. You're an idiot. And then he kicks you out.
I didn't use that one. I didn't use a big word to this moment, and I didn't call you an idiot one time in this conversation. So I'm not using Darth Dawkins' method here. I'm simply pointing out that you are
And I'm
violating
simply
your
pointing out
criterion of
that
belief.
You have no definitive empirical evidence that God exists, and that's fine.
And
you're
you
gonna
and
believe
you
it,
have no
regardless of
empirical
what it is.
evidence, and you have
I'm
no
telling
empirical
you,
evidence. Wait,
I have no empirical evidence except what we've already observed, and I have no empirical evidence of how the universe came to be, what it came
that's not the
from,
question. That's
how
not the
long
question.
it's what.
That's not the question. You have no empirical evidence for the very foundation of the scientific method being based on induction, and that is the double standard I was pointing
no,
out.
it's not, man. Like you're just gonna keep falling back on that. There's no point in having any conversation about it.
Yeah, I think we're at an
We're not
impasse.
talking about the foundation of the scientific method. What we're talking about is what we are using right now as the scientific method, and what we can observe, what we can record, and what we can use to see and learn about our universe and the physics that are here and everything in the entire fucking thing. That's why we know what we know, because of the scientific method.
That is based on induction.
God did it. That's the easy way to do it.
That is based on induction.
But trying to learn about it is the other way of doing it, which is the way I choose to do it.
The scientific method is based on induction is not proven empirically. Yes, I get it.
Big Flex, you're a moron. I just said that I don't have any evidence of why the universe exists, and then you told me I don't. You're a fucking idiot.
All right, Cody. We're not going to get past this. You and I, we're bumping heads on one thing. We're not going to get past it. But I just want to ask you one last question. Was I respectful in this conversation?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, did we have a good conversation?
Yeah, we had fun.
All right, man. Thank you for coming up, bro. Thank you for coming up. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. And we'll talk again, all right? Bless you, man. All right, so that was a good conversation, not going to lie. Very good conversation. We are just at an impasse. We're not going to get past that point. We're not going to get past it because... And this guy is not stupid. He's a very smart guy. He's very, very respectful guy as well. Can't believe he's an atheist. Very good guy. Very good guy. But we're not going to get past that, where I'm pointing out that, look, you don't believe in God because you have no empirical evidence for him, but you believe the scientific method of induction that does not have any empirical evidence to prove it. We're not going to get past that. They're not going to get past that point. But all I'm pointing out, guys, for every atheist on YouTube over here and everybody on TikTok over here, all 10 of you, if you're an atheist, I just want to point out, you have a double standard. God's existence is not an empirical claim, but you reject it because there's no empirical evidence for it. Number one, that's a category error. It's like going up to a man and saying, prove to me you're a woman. But the guy never claimed he was a woman, so he doesn't have to prove it. We're not claiming God as an empirical entity, therefore we don't have to prove it empirically. Our argument is that if there is anything rather than nothing, God exists because he's the creator. That is not an empirical claim. But you reject it because there's no empirical evidence for God being a physical entity. And I'm pointing out that you believe the scientific method of induction, which is not proven empirically, and therefore you're contradicting your standard. Some people will not accept that. Some people will not get it. And Cody didn't get it. And it's not because he's stupid, because he's a very smart guy, I'm sure. We were just at an impasse. We're not going to get past that. But I'm glad he came up. All right, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna have something to. I'm doing okay, man. Just having my breakfast so that my wife doesn't, get my ass.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Slavery is biblical, and it also in the scripture. And I don't think it is a good thing what been happened to the nation of Israel.
Yeah, slavery is evil. I believe. Are you an atheist, Anthony?
No, I am not none of those.
Do you believe
I'm
in?
not a Christian.
Do you believe in God?
100%.
Do you believe in the Christian God?
Christianity was placed on our people. Christian play a big role in enslaving our people. So I know the history about Christian.
All right. So, did Christianity appear in Africa or in Europe first?
Christianity actually come from Europe.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you have access to any electronics like a computer or anything you can look up right now?
No.
All right. Are you in favor of asking the robot ChatGPT, Grok questions and listen to what they have to say?
I do research on Christianity, and I know Christianity is a darkness. But I can ask you a question, right?
Yeah, you can. You can. Before you ask me a question, I'm going to ask ChatGPT a question about whether or not Christianity started first in Europe or in Africa and hear what it says. And then you can tell me what you think, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, ChatGPT, I want to ask you a question, but before we do, I want you to confirm to those who are listening that this is our first conversation. Is it our first conversation, ChatGPT?
Yes, this is indeed our first conversation. I don't have any memory of us chatting before. So, fresh start. What's on your mind?
Okay, I want to ask you a question. It is often claimed that Christianity was forced on Africans by Europeans, but isn't it the case that Christianity started in Ethiopia before it went to Europe?
So, Ethiopia does have a deep, ancient Christian history. In fact, Ethiopian Christianity traces back to the 4th century, making it one of the earliest Christian regions. But it wasn't the source of Christianity spread into Europe. Christianity developed in the Near East and spread in multiple directions. The European colonization of Africa happened much later, and that's when Christianity was spread by force in many regions. Both histories are true, just in different contexts.
Okay, so last question, ChatGPT. So Christianity started in the ancient Near East, and then it spread to Ethiopia, which is in Africa, and then much later it spread to Europe. So if someone says that the Europeans were the ones who forced Christianity on everybody else, i.e., it started in Europe, would they be historically inaccurate?
Yes, that would be historically inaccurate. Christianity didn't originate in Europe. It emerged in the 1st century in the Near East, essentially in the regions we now think of as Israel and Palestine. From there, it spread both east and west, reaching places like Ethiopia early on and then spreading into Europe. The European colonial expansion centuries later did involve forcing Christianity on colonized peoples, but that's a separate historical phase.
Okay. Did you hear that, Anthony?
Yeah, I heard it, but ask it if Christianity never did play the role of enslaving black people.
Hey, ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT. Is it true that Christianity and also in Christian values, it teaches and purports that enslaving black people is okay?
No, it doesn't teach that. Christianity, in its core values, emphasizes human dignity and love of neighbor. Historically, some people did misuse scripture to justify slavery, but others, motivated by Christian beliefs, led abolitionist movements. So the idea that Christianity inherently supports that is definitely not in line with its fundamental teachings.
So I'm not going to say, Anthony, that Christians or people who claim to be Christians did not enslave people. I'm not going to claim that because A lot of people who claim to be Christians did do that, but not everyone who claims to be a Christian is a Christian. The Bible says that you will know them by their fruits, and the Bible identifies what those fruits are that you should look for to know who a true Christian is. And enslaving people against their will is not a Christian thing.
Okay, I understand your point. So I can ask you a question now,
Yes.
according to the scripture, right?
Yes, you can.
You believe in the Bible, right? You believe in the Old and the New Testament, right?
Yes, I do.
So I'm going to ask you this question now. Is in the book, anywhere at all, in the New or in the Old Testament, can you show me where God called we Christians? Can you give with the name Christian?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because I'm eating, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the AI do it for me. Okay? So there are 3 places in the entire Bible where...
I don't really believe in an AI. I believe in the Bible, the scripture itself.
All right. I'll pull out my Bible and I will show you conclusive proof where the Bible identifies us as Christians, those who follow Christ. Okay?
You're going in Acts where the other nation them call we Christians, right? That's where you're going?
I'm going there and I'm going in Peter. Are you aware that there's one in 1 Peter?
Go ahead. I asked you to show me where God himself called we Christians.
Oh, where God himself calls us Christians? Oh, no, we don't have that. We don't have that.
Okay, good. So, all right, can I ask your next question, right?
Yeah.
Is God ever choosing peculiar people unto himself? And what name him give those people?
The people who God chose for himself are identified in the Old Testament as the Israelites. But when God when God called Abraham, he told Abraham that in your seed and through your seed, all the nations of the world will be blessed. That was fulfilled in Jesus Christ, where Jesus Christ grafts into.
I am not talking about that yet. I am not talking about that.
I was going to say that God's people are from every nation. That's what I was going to say.
That's what you said, but that's not what the Bible said.
Actually, it does.
I'm going to say this, right? In the New Testament, is Jesus did change that name in the New Testament? When God did call him people, them Israelites, is Jesus did come and change that name in the New Testament?
Yes, he did, through the writings of Paul.
So if Jesus said, I am sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, is it him still not applied to that name? Yes or no?
You have to read those passages, Anthony, with the correct interpretation from the church fathers, because you're looking at it from your 21st century lens and interpreting it. Actually, it was a prophesied that the Jews would reject Jesus Christ, and as a result, he would go to the Gentiles and draft the Gentiles in. And also in Romans chapter 11, Romans chapter 11, it says that there's a partial hardening on the Jews so that they will reject Christianity until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. What we're going to do now, Anthony, is everything you say, I'm going to ask you to back it up from church history, patristic literature, and the Bible. Not just your opinion, because your opinion or my opinion doesn't matter. What does the Bible say, and what does the church fathers say?
All right. So what I'm saying, right, in Romans chapter 9 and start at verse 1 to go to 5, right? What that verse is said. If you claim and say Jesus changed that name and Peter still, Paul still using that name, and Peter them, all the apostles them still using that name. So that means that Jesus did not change that name, right?
Paul was inspired by the Holy Spirit to write scripture, and Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 27, that the things I write to you are the commandments of God himself. So everything that Paul writes is the commands of God himself, and Paul identifies himself as a Christian in Acts when he says to I think the guy's name, I forgot the guy's name, but it was one of those Roman officials. He says to him that I would hope that you would become as I am. I am a Christian in these chains. Paul identifies himself as a Christian. People who followed Christ in that culture were identified as Christians. And Peter, another apostle appointed by Christ, says that if anyone suffers as a Christian, he is to glorify God in this name. So the name Christian is a name that was approved by God because it was approved by Paul. Paul was writing on behalf of God, being inspired by the Holy Spirit. So if you say that that's wrong, you're just ignoring and rejecting the Bible's testimony.
So now, even though you say that, right? But I understand that part of scripture, right? So you're saying Paul remove him original nationality, where the Most High give him, and then claim himself as a Christian followers, right? So now, if you're gonna say this now, you're gonna make it there's a confusion right there, because in Romans 11 verse 1, what Paul said in original nationality right here.
Your question is presupposing that when Paul identifies himself as a Christian, he is relinquishing his nationality as an Israelite. That is not entailed.
No. Because what Paul trying to say, because true film people them was used to underneath slavery, he might require to say if you suffer as a Christian, because that name was put on them. That never was given that never was sent from the Most High. So now I understand Paul trying to say to his people them, even though you suffer as a Christian, that means that this name put on you. Right? So I understand what Paul is saying. I don't know if you understand what Paul is saying, but I understand what Paul is saying. So now in Romans chapter 11 and verse 1.
What does Christian mean? Before I answer your question, answer mine. What does the word Christian mean?
The word Christian mean is a ragged name.
What does it mean though?
That's a ragged name.
What does the ragged name mean?
Your church claim to say is follower of Christ.
Okay, is that true?
Followers of Christ.
Is that true? Let me tell you what it means. The word Christian, it's a Greek word that was translated into English. The Greek word is Christianus. It means Christ-like. That's what it means. That's why they were calling the disciples Christians, because they were Christ-like, followers of Christ. That's what the word means.
So I can ask you a question. In Acts, right? Who are those people who were called two apostles, I believe? The two apostles. You remember those two apostles?
Peter and James.
That's where the name dropped on them.
Yes. In Acts 11, verse 26, he brought him to Antioch, and it happened that for an entire year they met with the churches and taught a considerable crowd, and the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch.
There you go.
And I'm going to ask you again. Hold on. I'm going to ask you again. What does the word Christian mean?
You claim to say it's followers of Christ.
All right.
But
is that correct?
Hold on. You are correct in your own opinion. But my opinion, what I'm going to say to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who call those people Christians? Is the nation of Israel call them Christian? Or did God give anyone of the nation of Israel to call these men Christians? Yes or no?
Yes. You want the proof? Do you want the proof? Do you want the proof?
All right, prove me then. Go ahead, prove me then.
All right, here we go. Verse 20. Oh, wait.
You don't mind if I share the live with some brethren?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind. Here we go. So, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 37. If anyone thinks he is a prophet or spiritual, let him recognize that the things which I write to you are the Lord's commandments. So everything that Paul writes are the Lord's commandments. And we have these words from Paul in Acts chapter 26, verse 28. He says, verse 27, King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? I know you believe. But Agrippa replied to Paul, in such short time, you are persuading me to become a Christian. And Paul said, verse 29, I would pray to God that whether in a short or a long time, not only you, but also all who hear me this day might become such as I am, except for these chains. So we have Paul indicating that he would love for everyone to become what he is identified as, which is a Christian, except for these chains, meaning he was in chains and he would like to be out of those chains. So this is my biblical evidence and support for my claim that Paul, under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, accepted the word Christian because the word Christian means Christ-like and followers of Christ. You say the opposite. What is your biblical evidence for the opposite?
So King Agrippa, I'm still gonna ask you next the same thing on King Agrippa, right? Is King Agrippa was an Israelite, yes or no?
Actually, don't know. I don't know. Was he an Israelite?
King Agrippa never was an Israelite.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna show you something. You remember Abraham, right? You remember Abraham, right?
Yeah, I remember him.
Okay, you remember when time a king was going to take Abraham's wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Abraham never did lie to that king?
The king accused him of lying.
Huh?
The king accused him of lying. I think he was Abimelech, King Abimelech.
You can go to the scripture for me, please, and see if the king was accused him of lie.
I don't remember where the scripture is. I'm telling you that I think that King Abimelech accused him of lying.
All right, you can Google it, and then the Google gonna send you to the verse, if you don't mind,
Anthony,
right? And
Anthony,
then we can go back to King Agrippa.
Before we go there, I want to get to the foundational point you're trying to make. Is it your position that God chose the Israelites and no one else, and the Israelites are the only ones who will be saved?
We have to see what the Bible said.
No, wait. There is what the Bible says, and there is what you believe. I want to know what you believe. We're not talking about the Bible yet. I want to know what the belief is, because we're going in circles.
I believe salvation.
And we're going
salvation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
I believe salvation is only for the children of Israel. I believe God chose the house of Israel only above all nations. Him say that. And I believe when Christ said he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, Christ never changed the will of him Father.
Okay.
Even the disciple and the prophecy, all of those, them still obey the Father. So the Father, they want Israel to get saved from their enemies. We understand who is the enemy of Israel. So for salvation, for someone to get saved, they have to get saved from something that salvation can give to them. Because Israel was the one that get enslaved from many nations. We can see that in Psalms 83. We can see these nations being come up against Israel, cut them off from not being a nation. That's why we're being scattered. Some of we call Jamaican, Black American, African. You understand me? Some of we call the Caribbean names, and also Mexican. You understand me? So these are the things what the other nations them done unto us. So this is why the most I want we for come back to our nationality. That's why when time I was telling you, if Paul,
we're getting it now. You're a Hebrew Israelite.
Did not change his nationality.
So we're getting it now. That's why I wanted you to get to the point. So you are a Hebrew Israelite believer.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe 100%.
So you believe. So you are a racist.
If I am a racist?
Yes.
All right, since like how you asked me this question, before I answer your question, right? When God did choose Israel above all nation, is that never was racist?
No, it wasn't.
It never was.
So now, before we move on, I want you to answer me: are you a racist?
When the other nation was enslaved.
Don't dodge my question again, Anthony. Don't dodge my question again.
Yes, I'm a racist.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So you're a racist. Good. And the other nations, when they enslaved the black people, yes, they were racist too. Yes, no problem.
Okay.
There. No problem. There. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Let's get to the nitty gritty.
I said this to you, my brother, right?
All right. But before we continue, because
I love you with a compassion and everything, right?
Wait, hold on. We're gonna get to the issue now. Do you accept the New Testament canon? 27 books of the New Testament.
I accept the New Testament and the Old Testament. I accept the both of them because the both of them come in harmony. You understand me?
All right. How many books are in the Bible?
For you to understand the New Testament, you have to go back to the Old Testament.
Right.
You agree with me?
Sure. How many books are in the Bible?
We have. They used to say 66, but we have more.
Give me the number.
We have 99 book, I believe. Now,
all right.
Because I have the new King James 1611. I download that and it show me other books. They take out.
All right. So when you go to the New Testament, does it only list 27 books?
I don't hear you. Say back that again.
When you go to the New Testament, does it only list 27 books?
No, it's more than that because some of the New Testament, them take it out. That's why I tell you, say it's more than that.
All right, so I'm going to do a very quick search here. In the 1611 KJV Bible, how many...
King James 1611. Just type in that. King James 1611.
How many...
You're going to see so much book come up in that.
Books are in the New Testament. I'm only asking about the New Testament. Okay, 27 books. Perfect. So, the 1611 King James Version Bible only has 27 books in the New Testament. That's all I wanted to know. And now we know it. Okay, Anthony. Who gave you authoritatively the 27 books of the New Testament? Who gave them to you?
Who gave it to us?
Here's my claim.
I mean,
the Christian church gave it to you. You say different. Who gave it to you?
Okay, the prophecies them wrote that to us, which is Paul, Peter, James.
All right, perfect. Now show me from the Bible where the Bible gave you the list of the 27 books of the New Testament. Go ahead. And not the church. Because here it is, Anthony. Here's my claim. The Christian church that you reject gave you the 27 books of the New Testament. You say that the Bible prophets gave you those books. So, show me from the Bible where the Bible gave you those books. Go ahead.
Okay, since how you want to go there, right?
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Okay. Is Peter don't write more sign book them like the book of Timothy, Paul. Is Paul write more sign book them like Romans, I believe Timothy, and some other else more.
The reason why, let me tell you.
I'm going to tell you, say, I know all of them, but I know, say...
That's totally fine. Here's my position. We know that Paul wrote those books because the church told us that Paul wrote those books. Do you know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John don't identify themselves in the first four Gospels? The reason why we know it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is because the church told us. The church, the Christian church that you reject. So my question to you is going to come down to this foundational principle here. Since you reject the Christian church, which you probably say...
Before you ask me that question,
okay,
right? The Christian church today, You claim say those are the original church from back then?
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the church from back then who decided what books would go in the Bible, the New Testament. At the council.
That's the question I asked you. I say to you, say, even though you see Paul write him letters, right, to a certain church in Antioch, right, you believe is the Christian church me not say like today, but me I ask you if it's the same church like back then is the same church today?
Yes, they are located. They are located in Presbyterianism, Lutheranism, Reformed Baptist, and Anglican.
Okay, cool. So can I ask you a question? Is it there a church never was with Moses in the wilderness, and what that church was identified as?
The church with Moses in the wilderness was identified as Israel, but you're not going to change the topic, Anthony. I'm asking you, since you reject. All right. Let me ask you: Do you reject the Christian church?
I reject the Christian church to this modern time.
All right. The Christian church of the first century in Rome. Do you reject the Christian church?
No, I don't reject that because those church was Israelites.
Those churches were, well, all right. Was Constantine an Israelite?
Yes, those are the tribe of those are the house of Israel right there.
Constantine.
So I don't reject that church, but
Constantine, the Roman emperor, who was identified as a non-black individual, was an Israelite.
No.
Okay, so you just contradicted yourself.
I don't contradict myself.
You just said that Constantine was an Israelite because he was a part of the church, and it is historically known that Constantine was not a black man, so you just said he was not a part of the church, which makes you contradicting yourself.
All right. The church we're talking about, right? Who write that letter? Is not Paul writing letter? Yes or no to a church?
You're missing what I'm saying, buddy. You're missing what I'm saying. I want you to track what I'm saying, please. I'm gonna go very slow. In the 4th century, 313 AD, when Christianity became legal and was now a religion that was tolerated by the Roman Empire, and it became the official religion of the empire in 380 AD. The people who made Christianity legal in that century was comprised of both whites and blacks and people from all over the world. You said earlier that Constantine, the Roman emperor, was a part of the church, but he was not a black man. And then you said that he was not a part of the church, which made you contradict yourself.
I never said the Roman Empire was a part of that church. You're trying to put things in my mouth. I said the letter what Paul was wrote into, he was wrote into a particular people, right? We call the church. I understand who are those people who Paul wrote the letter to. Those are Israelites. He never was writing to the Roman Empire. That's the difference.
Okay, perfect. So we're getting somewhere. So I'm going to ask you again. Who gave you, as a matter of fact, because, when I talk to people like you, I always find that you don't know history because you don't do a lot of reading. So I'm going to ask you to see if this is one of you, if you're one of those people. When was the canon of the Bible closed in the 4th century? At which council?
You told me. I don't know. You told me.
Okay, so you don't know. So you don't know how we got the Bible then?
You told me. I don't know. You told me. Go ahead.
All right, so you don't know how we got the Bible. You don't know the process it went through. When you hold in your hand the 1611 King James Version.
I do know how the Bible. I do know. So we was of the Bible from the beginning until in time it get take from us throughout slavery.
All right. So I want you to, in front of everybody who is here on TikTok and those who are going to watch this video on YouTube, tell me the history of how we got the Bible. Go.
We get the Bible throughout in slavery when them change everything and they try to make the Bible like it's a white man book, but it never was a white man book. It was from our ancestor. Before the Bible was named the Bible, it was the Dead Sea Scroll. You can Google that. You understand me? So then change the name of the Bible, but the words was still there. But they even remove some of the words same way.
When was the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered?
Hold on. They brought it down, and this is how Christianity come now. So when time them enslave our people, them build church, them build different churches, and then what they do now, they start like, bring these religions, say everybody is one now, which fall in our Bible, everybody is not one.
All right. You just said that before we got the Bible, we had what was called the Dead Sea Scrolls. When was the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered?
That was after the Dark Ages. I believe before the Dark Ages. And then them change the name.
When was the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered? What year was it discovered?
That before slavery, but I believe in the 17. I believe in the what? Hold on, make I look up.
You said that the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered before the Dark Ages. Are you aware that the Dark Ages started in the 700s and ended in the 1500s, sir? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you. The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered 1945. How is it that the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered before 1945 when you said that they were discovered before the Dead Sea? That's what they told. Okay.
Yes,
What is your evidence?
Can I say this?
Wait, before you say anything, what is your evidence that it was discovered before 1945? Please tell me.
Okay, so when we discover, right? When it discover, the first thing what they do, they take the book from us. They say the book was very important. This is the 17. I believe this is. Hold on, make I look back for because I did write it down before.
Okay.
Give me a second. Make I look back. Give me a second.
All right, and while you're looking for it, I'm just going to say the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in 1945. The Dead Sea Scrolls were not discovered before that. And when Anthony gets back, you're going to see that he actually doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just saying what he heard. And you're going to see when he gets back that the Dead Sea Scrolls were not discovered before 1945. They were not. And we're going to see. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a quick Google search.
Can I say it now? The Dead Sea Scroll was discovered when time the second captivity of the Syrian captivity, right? When the tribe of Judah gone out in this captivity. This was a 722 BC.
That is so inaccurate, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. What's your source?
They're not going to make you know the truth.
What's your source?
We Hebrew Israelites know the truth.
You Hebrew Israelites are deceived. You make things up from history, left, right, and center, including that King James was a black man. Do you believe that nonsense?
King James is a black man.
You see what I'm talking about, everybody? You see what I'm talking about? Okay. Wait. Was King? Do we know who King James' parents were?
You say we talking.
No, wait.
So you can prove,
buddy. Wait. Hold on.
King James, right?
Were King James' parents white people?
Do you know that there are two King James, right?
There's only one King James, bro.
And one was white.
You're
gonna see.
No. There was no black King James in history. There was none. That's something made up by you deceived Hebrew Israelites. I'm going to ask you again. The King James that authorized the King James Version Bible, was his parents white or were they black?
His parents was a black person and him was a black.
All right,
now
so Mary, Queen of Scots, the mother of King James, and Henry Stuart, the father of King James, these people were black.
He's a white King King James right there.
These people were white.
Yeah, that is the white King James. That's why I tell you, say you have two King James.
All right.
You have the white one and you have the black one.
And the black one, wait. Hold on. King James, king of where? King of where?
The first King James was a black man.
Wait. King of where? If you're a king, you rule somewhere, right? King of where?
Europe.
All right.
Yeah,
in what year?
In England, I believe in the 17 something. This are after, I believe, before the dark ages, because when they kick we out of the Europe and scatter us up, we used to rule Europe at that time.
Okay, so King James the First, also called King James the First, ruled in England from March 24, 1603, until his passing away March 27, 1625. This same King James was the one who authorized the King James Version Bible. Which King James are you talking about? When did he live? How long did he rule?
I'm talking about that same King James. He was a black man.
All right, so this same King James.
You can put, hold on.
Wait.
You can pull up a picture with him and you're going to see the first King James, an image of him. Can you pull it up?
You mean the doctored image by the Hebrew Israelites? Are you aware that the image that you...
I want you to pull up the image. I want you to put up the picture of the first King James. Can you do it?
Before we do that, I want you to justify your claim that there were two King James.
Yes, I say it's two King James.
All right. Perfect. The black one and the white one. Tell me the periods they both ruled England.
The black one is the first one that ruled.
And the second one, when did he come about and when did he rule?
After the black one.
All right. Wait. The white one that came after the black one, when did he rule?
I believe him ruled in 17 something, around that time.
17
I don't remember.
17 something. So there was a okay, so I'm going to look it up online right now. Was there a King James that ruled in the 1700s?
Of the first one.
Google says no, there was no King James who actually ruled on the throne of England, Scotland, or Great Britain during the 1700s.
So why you don't want to pull up the first one then? The first one of the black image.
Wait, before we get there.
You want me to show you it? Okay,
before we get there.
I believe I have it.
Hey, Anthony, before we get there, I was just pointing out your ignorance about history. You black Hebrew Israelites are so ignorant about history. It's amazing. You make stuff up and expect people to believe them. You just said there was a white King James that came after the black one in 1700s, when there is no historical evidence supporting that. And I'm going to hold you to it. What is the historical evidence? I'm not going to let you leave from that. What is the historical evidence that there was a white King James that ruled in 1700s?
I'm going to show you a picture. With a...
I am asking you a specific question, Anthony, from the claim you made that I'm calling you out, that you lied on. You lied. You're lying. Which century did the white King James rule? You said the 1700s. There is no record of that. What's your evidence?
So you say there's no record of that, right? Look at this now. Hold on. I'm going to pull up a picture and show you.
Everybody on YouTube, I hope you're seeing what's going on here. I'm asking him a very specific question about something he said, and he keeps running. I'm going to ask you again, Anthony. I'm asking you again. What is the historical evidence that a white King James came after a black King James and he ruled in the 1700s? What's the evidence?
Hold on, I'm getting it right now. Give me a second.
All right.
I'm getting it.
I can't believe we're having a debate about the ethnicity of a king of England. We know the king of England was a white man. We know his parents were white people and a Hebrew Israelite. Guys, whenever you meet Hebrew Israelites, just know that you're talking to people who make up history. They make it up. They have no evidence for their claims, none whatsoever. And they try to twist the word of God. That's why I'm not letting him escape. Not letting him escape. What he's going to show me is a doctored image of King James, where someone got a black and white picture of King James and they darkened it to make it seem like he was a black man. This is going to be amazing when he gets back, because he's going to show the image and I'm going to show the image as well, because I know where it's going to go. I know the image he's talking about, but it was a doctored image. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up here on my AI because I think the AI can do it as well. Hey, ChatGPT, there is a movement in the world called Black Israelites or Black Hebrew Israelite movement. They use pictures of King James that they doctor to make it seem as though he was a black man. What I want you to do for me is pull up the two images, the original image and the doctored image, side by side so that we can see them. And then I'm gonna okay, give me the black and white image that they use and they darken it to make it seem like King James was a black man. Give me that as well. Oh, here we are. Very good. Very good. So I want everyone to see this.
Hold on, it's up on my next phone, but my other phone get the picture gonna see this new phone when I have out of my old phone, but it kinda my other phone kinda
Can you see it?
messed up.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it right here.
Okay, so this guy right here.
Yeah.
Okay, are you aware that the mustache of black people don't go into a curl?
What you say?
Does the mustache of black people go into a curl when it grows?
Not all the time. Not all black people
It never
have curly hair.
No, not curly hair. I'm asking you, a black man who's straight black with two black parents, does their mustache curl up when it grows, or does that happen to white people?
No, it don't really curl up.
All right. Are you aware that this is a doctored image?
That can be a style. It don't have to be like
No.
bound with that curl up like that.
I'm not talking about the mustache anymore. Are you aware that this image was doctored, as in changed to look a certain way? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So you're telling me that this image
Is this King
you're telling
James?
me that this image is false, right?
Is this King James?
That's the white King James.
When did he rule?
I don't remember when him they ruled.
Look it up right now.
have a computer in front of me.
All right, so I just looked it up. He ruled from 1603 to 1625. Is that false?
So you're saying him is the only King James, right?
According to history, yes.
Okay, so there's no record of the black one.
The black one never existed.
Never existed.
Never existed.
Okay, all right.
It's a lie that was told to you by the teachers in the Hebrew Israelite movement who are deceived by the devil.
So can I ask you a question? Right? So now the Bible right here, right? The King James will write the Bible. You claim that this is a white this is a white man who will write King James. Hold on, just listen to me out, right?
King James never wrote the Bible, buddy. He never wrote the Bible. He authorized its translation. You don't know history, bro. Like, where are you getting these things from?
Hold on. Don't run from this now, you know. So if King James is authorized the Bible, right? And I'm gonna give you a blue eye man say this is Jesus, right? May I ask you a question?
Are you done?
Yes.
The blue-eyed version of Jesus is not Jesus.
Huh?
The image that you see of a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, that is not Jesus.
Okay, so King James, where you say authorized the Bible, who him really related to?
King James had a mother and a father. His mother was Queen Elizabeth, and his father was Henry Stuart. Both of them were white people.
Okay, so they're family. All right. Can I ask you a question? Caesar Borgia, who him related to?
I don't know who that person is.
No, just type it up. It's going to go back right to that same white King James. Since like how you say we're telling lies, right?
Caesar.
So let's see what's going on.
Caesar Borgia. How do you spell Caesar Borgia? And by the way, you are telling lies because it is not historically recorded that there was a black King James who came before the white King James. The one who ruled between
White is right. White is they hide this. They know why they hide this, right? If the book is about a black nation, why it is they paint the faces of the judges and turn everything whitewash?
I don't grant to you that the book is about a black nation. I don't grant you that. I'm just pointing out that you
if the book is about a black hold on.
It's not about a black nation, bro. It's not about a black nation. And I'm pointing out again something that you Hebrew Israelites like to do, and I'm glad you're here so I can point this out. There is no historical evidence for your claim that there were two King James, a black one and a white one. If you go into any historical, if you go anywhere with that nonsense, people laugh at you. It's literally like me saying there was no Bob Marley. That is such a stupid lie.
So hold on. Bob Marley is not my people. Bob Marley is not my people.
It doesn't matter. Did Bob Marley exist? Did Bob Marley exist?
Yeah, he did
okay.
exist, but he's not my people.
If I go down the road in Jamaica right now and I say Bob Marley never existed, would people laugh at me?
Don't move on for the King James yet, you know. I don't want you to run away from
we are still on the King James. I'm pointing out that you believing that there was a black King James and a white King James is stupid. It's foolishness. You don't see that? You need to change your thinking, bro. You have literally historical delusion, bro. You don't believe that you believe that King James was two of them who ruled at different times, and there was one who ruled in the 1700s. No record of that. You don't see your historical delusion, bro.
Are you finished now?
All right. Give me the spelling of Caesar Borgia. Go ahead, please.
Okay. All right. Give me a second.
Oh my god. Hey, everybody on YouTube, this is amazing. Just look up Black Hebrew Israelites, and you'll see a lot of videos of them standing on the street and preaching to people. And this is one of the things they believe. They literally believe that King James the First, the King of England, was a black man. And they say, well, he's the first one I heard this nonsense from, that there were two King James, a black one and the white one, and the white one came after the black one. And the black one ruled in the 1600s, and the white one ruled in the 1700s. Oh my God, this is amazing. And you know the thing that they do? Whenever history disagrees with them, they say it was whitewashed. They say history was whitewashed when history disagrees with them. These people are so delusional, it's amazing.
I have my iPad on my phone. I don't want to jump off of the apps. You don't mind if I go download some picture and come right back? You don't mind, right?
I don't mind.
Give you the name.
I don't mind. All right, do your thing and come back, okay?
Just stay right here till the time I come back. I'm not running or nothing. I promise you that.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are. Request up again, okay? Come on back. I'll be here.
Yeah. All right. Give me a second. Just 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes, and come right back, okay? No problem. Guys, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. So all of Google, all of history is false. All of it is false. And you're right. The Hebrew Israelite. Bro, guys, these people are so delusional. They remind me of flat earthers. Okay, this guy looks familiar. Deers, are you an atheist?
Yeah. What's up, man?
Is slavery objectively wrong and objectively evil?
Yep.
By what external standard?
Well, I would hold to objective morality grounded in logic.
Objective morality grounded in logic. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Is it the same across all time and all space?
Logic or morality?
Morality that is grounded in logic.
Yes.
Okay. So how does someone have access to that morality that's grounded in logic?
With reason.
With reason. Okay. So let's say that John Doe identified in his morality grounded in logic that it is wrong to beat old ladies on their knees with baseball bats. Why ought he not do it? What's the ought? How do you fill the ought gap? The is ought gap. It is wrong. Now, why ought we not do it?
Right, because to do so would be contradictory.
Contradictory to what?
Logic.
Contradictory. Okay, so why ought we not perform contradictions?
Because it would be illogical.
Why ought we not be illogical? You're not getting to the foundation.
The question.
You're not getting to the foundation.
Just listen. I'll answer. You're begging the question by asking why in the first place. To ask why means that you are a rational agent, right? So if you're asking why should I be rational, you're
no. Actually, bro.
Already, you're
I
already
reject.
trying to be rational.
I reject that morality is grounded in logic. I reject it completely and wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I don't believe that. So someone is contradicting themselves.
What part of the argument do you take issue with?
I reject it because there is no logic that has anything to do with ethics. It's totally different things in philosophy.
There's no logic that has anything to do with ethics. Is that a true statement or
what are the four laws of logic?
The four laws. I'm familiar with three. Are you talking about like
the fourth one? The fourth one is the principle of sufficient reason. Yeah,
so
where in any of those laws do we find the proposition grape is wrong? Because you said
propositions are truth-bearing statements, right?
Where in those laws? Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Right.
Where in it do we find?
Hold on, just listen. So a truth-bearing statement, right, would be grounded in logic because truth is grounded in logic, correct?
Truth is grounded in logic, but truth is justified true belief. So it would have to be justified.
Truth is a justified true belief? Did you just define truth with a justified true belief?
Truth is rooted and grounded in epistemology. So if something is true, it's grounded in knowledge, which is grounded in epistemology. So me saying truth is justified true
belief. Can something be true
belief.
even if no one knows it to be true?
What?
Can something be true even if no one knows it to be true?
Yes, because it's grounded in God, who does not depend on anyone's existence. So back to my question. Why ought people not grape?
I already told you it would involve a contradiction, and
contradiction
would be to be irrational.
All right,
you asked this question, I've answered the question.
Why ought people not be irrational?
That begs the question. To ask why should you not do something
it doesn't beg the question.
To be a contemplative person, right?
It doesn't beg the question. You're begging the question because you haven't justified
it.
You haven't justified your claim. So you're begging the question. So again, why ought people not be irrational?
What question am I begging?
You haven't justified your claim.
You said I'm begging the question. What question am I begging?
The question of what is it that is ultimate that dictates what is wrong or right. You haven't gotten there yet. What is it? Okay, logic. And I'm asking you.
That. I literally said that.
And I'm asking you. Okay. Where did logic come from?
It's transcendental.
Where is it grounded in?
It's transcendental.
It's transcendental, meaning it is beyond the physical. Where is it grounded? What is it grounded in?
It's grounded in difference.
It's grounded in difference. Okay.
Yes.
So where did it come from?
What do you mean, where did it come from? It has always existed.
It has always existed. Is logic personal?
No.
Is logic conscious?
No.
Is logic rational?
Ration is related to logic, yeah. So to be rational is to be logical, yeah.
Okay, so is logic the thing that created everything?
No.
What is it?
It was never created. You're jumping from one topic to the other.
I'm not jumping
transcendental.
I'm trying to find your ultimate. We haven't identified your ultimate yet because
the universe is ultimate.
Okay, perfect. Is the universe eternal?
Yes.
Now you got yourself in a trap. Who said the universe is eternal?
What do you mean? Who said? I said.
Okay, so are you the arbiter of what is true?
No.
Okay, so all of the scientists who say the universe had a beginning are wrong?
This is the weakest line of questioning. You're going nowhere.
Are all the scientists who say...
Stay linear.
Are all the scientists who say the opposite wrong and you're right?
No.
So didn't you just say that you're right?
With respect to this, yes. I can be mistaken about things, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to say that I'm going to give you the evidence if you ask me for it. The majority of scientific literature says that the universe had a beginning. It's not eternal. Do you disagree?
Yes.
By what standard?
The quantum eternity theorem.
Is the quantum eternity theorem true? Absolutely.
No.
So, what are you saying?
I'm saying it's evidence in favor of the view. Do you have evidence in favor of your view?
It's evidence in favor of the view that does not give you certainty that it's true?
I don't need certainty. I don't need epistemic certainty in order to hold a position in my worldview.
So you don't know if it's true.
Do you need epistemic certainty?
In my worldview that is distinct from your worldview, I do. But you don't have any epistemic certainty.
So you need 100% certainty in order to... So are you 100% certain that you have hands?
Yes, I am.
Obviously, yes. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Are you 100% certain that God created the universe?
100%.
Okay, and are you 100% certain that Jesus was in the universe?
Yes, I am.
And so you're 100% certain that God created himself?
You want to know what my epistemic standard is?
You're 100% certain that God created himself, correct?
That is not a proposition in my worldview.
You're 100% certain that God created himself.
That is not
correct?
A proposition in my worldview. You're misrepresenting Christianity.
So you're not 100% certain that God created himself.
How is me not answering a question a concession?
Right, so you're not 100% certain that God created himself.
How is me
correct?
not answering a question a concession? If I ask you, are you gay, and you don't answer, are you automatically gay?
No, I'm not gay.
Okay, so why did you just do the thing that you won't accept for yourself?
Are you 100% certain that God created himself?
I just said that is not a proposition in our
That's
worldview.
a no or a yes. You can just say no. You can just say.
Oh
I'm
no!
not
Do
100%
you
certain
think
that
I'm going to
God
allow
created
you to
himself.
just jump off of what you just did? You
What did I do? You're so
literally
scared. It's
just
hilarious.
did something that I'm going to hold you to.
What
Me
did I
not
do?
answering
Yeah,
a
let me
question. You viewed
Yeah.
me not answering a question as a concession to the question.
No, it's just the fact that you don't know the answer. You literally don't know the
I
answer.
don't know the answer, so now you know. So now you know my mind.
You don't have 100% certainty
So
about everything.
now
That's all I'm saying.
so
That
now
don't
you can
have
read my
certainty.
mind. Now you can read my
You
mind.
don't have certainty. Yeah, because you said I don't know. You told me I don't know. Which
I
means
said I don't know.
demonstrates your lack of
Did
certainty.
I say I don't know?
Yes, you did.
I said I don't know.
Yes,
Okay,
multiple
okay.
times. You've
Get
said
the
it
hell out
again.
of here, you son of a
It's
bitch.
demonstrated.
You jackass. The moment you start to misrepresent me is the moment the conversation is over. Get the hell out of here. And don't come back. Do me a favor and don't come back. Stupid jackass. Stupid jackass. Mute your ass. Just swipe and get the hell out of here. You stupid jackass. me bring back Anthony. Like he said, so are you absolutely certain that God created himself? And then I said, that is not a proposition in Christianity. You're misrepresenting our worldview. And then he said, so you do believe that God created himself? I'm like, wait a minute. So me not answering a question is a concession to the question? So that means if I ask you if you're gay, you don't answer me, that means you're gay? And he thought I was going to let him get away with that? Get the hell out of here, bro. Don't ever come back to my live. Just leave me alone. You jackass. Get out of here and don't come back. Okay, Anthony. Welcome back. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. So you said something about Caesar Boscia. Who is Caesar Boscia?
Caesar Boscia.
Spell it.
Caesar Boscia is a family Sheejabosh.
Wait, sorry. S-H-E?
Make I spell it back over again. Sheejabosh.
Oh, Sheejabosh. Is it
Yeah.
B the last few letters, is it B-O-S-H-A?
Yeah.
All right.
B-O-S-H. So now Caesar Boscia is a family of King James, the white King James, and you can ask your little computer that, and it's gonna tell you. This is Caesar Boscia where they paint. They paint him to be like the blue-eyed Jesus.
All right, so
yeah.
based on research results, there is no known direct historical relationship between a person or entity named Sheeja Boscia. There's no that Google doesn't know of this person.
Okay. Can you ask your little AI now?
Okay. ChatGPT.
Yes, I'm here.
Are you there?
I'm doing great. How about you? What's on your mind?
Okay, I want you to confirm for me if someone from history named Sheeja Boscia actually existed. And is he related to King James?
Since there's no historical record of such a figure, there's no known connection to King James either. If you have a different name or reference in mind, feel free to clarify.
Okay, so the AI doesn't know of this Sheeja Boscia. So again, you Hebrew Israelites just make things up, guys. You make things up, man. You make things up. But I'm going to give you another chance. Who is Sheeja Boscia?
Caesar Boscia, where they paint as the white Jesus.
I already conceded to you that the white Jesus is not Jesus.
You want me? All right.
I already told you.
I'm going to hold on. What I'm going to do? I'm going to photocopy. I'm going to take a snap on my phone and put it up on this right here and show you. Because are you sure you put in the right name?
Yes, I'm sure. Anthony, let me ask you something. Is Shisha Bosha the picture of the white man who people call Jesus? Huh? Is Shisha Bosha the white man who people call Jesus in the painting?
Yes.
All right. Shisha Bosha. All right, Anthony.
That's why the Bible said they change the faces of the judges.
All right, Anthony. I'm going to say this again, okay? And try to listen. I do not believe that Jesus Christ was a white man. Okay? Did you hear what I just said?
Okay, good. So if a white just listen to me I say now. You just asked a very important.
I did not ask a question. I told you something. It's a statement.
No. You just say something very important, right? So if the Bible says Jesus is not white, and then you're gonna have a white man wrote the Bible. You claim to the white Jesus Boshan wrote the Bible, right? Right? White is him never they say in this scripture, okay, Christ is a white man, but the Bible shows you say him is a black man. And the nation of Israel is black and brown. But you see white image where they put on TV say the children of Israel is pale people, white people.
I don't care. I'm gonna ask you again to justify your claim. You made a claim before you left that there were two King James, a black one and a white one. Where is your historical evidence that there was a black King James that came before?
They
removed that. Okay, so your evidence is that there is no evidence.
Okay.
No. Whoa. Answer my question. Your evidence is that there is no evidence.
I'm not going to say there is no evidence. So why the Russian government?
Didn't you just say that they removed it? Wait. Didn't you just say that they removed it? So if they removed it, there is no evidence, right?
Other people remove it, but why the Russian government have it?
I'm not talking about the Russian government. You just made a claim that they removed the evidence. If you remove something, is it there?
You know who removed it?
I don't care who removed it. I don't care who removed it. I'm asking you.
The Russian government have it.
Oh boy. The Russian government has the evidence.
Yes. Why you think when I believe a couple of years ago, almost 3 years ago,
evidence of what?
And it's on the whole world.
Evidence of what? That there was a black King James?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Hold on. So, if the Russian government has the evidence that there was a black King James that they keep to themselves and no one has access to it, how do you have access to it?
I don't have no access to nothing. It just, I don't have no.
So how do you know there was a black King James? How do you know there was a black King James?
Hold on. Did you go in any part at all in Europe?
No, I haven't. I don't need to. I read history.
Okay. So you live in America, right?
No, I'm from Jamaica. I'm full-time Jamaican.
You're full-time. So you're not in America?
No, I am a Jamaican. Let me turn on my Jamaican accent so you can hear me. Let me turn on my Jamaican accent so you can hear me. I say. So me I want full-time Jamaican. Me no live in America. Me no live in America. Me live in a Jamaica. Me not gonna tell you which parish me live in, but me live in a Jamaica. Me I want Jamaican. Me not America.
You don't go Europe because do you know that the same Catholic Church in Europe have the black image? Have a black image in their church?
Bro. I am so tired of this, man. I'm losing my mind here. Okay. Anthony.
No, because you don't go nowhere and you don't travel. I travel.
Anthony.
I don't live in a Jamaica,
Anthony, you are missing what I'm saying. You made a claim, bro. You made a claim. You're a black Hebrew Israelite. You're a black Hebrew Israelite, and I'm saying that people like you make up history. And I'm saying to you that one of those things in history that you people make up is that there was a black man who was a king in England called King James. I am saying that is historically false, and that is historical delusion. That is what you believe. And you try to get away from that by saying that there was a white King James that came after the black King James. I asked you, justify that from history. You know what you said? They removed it. They removed it. So your evidence for your claim is that there is no evidence because they removed it. You see how, you know what, I'm not even going to insult you, bro, because you're a fellow Jamaican and I don't like to insult Jamaicans. But bro, what I'm going to say to you is you need to repent from that delusion that you have and change your beliefs because they're indefensible and they're crazy, man. They're crazy.
Have it your way. Have it your way, my brother. Have it your way.
Blessings and respect, bro. Blessings and respect. Blessings and respect to a fellow Yadi. Me not deal with that no further. I'm not going to deal with that any further, bro. You need to change your beliefs and change your perspective because what you believe is historically laughable. And me don't want nobody laugh off of Jamaicans. Me don't want nobody laugh off of we and call we idiot and call we fool. But people like you go make other people out there think that we are idiot and think that we are fool because you literally believe that there was a black King James. I want you to go to England and say that to some people. Go to England and say that to some people so that they can laugh at you. But don't tell them they come from Jamaica. Please, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You literally believe something that is historically fallacious and historically false. It's like me walking around Jamaica and saying there was no such man as Bob Marley. People will laugh me to scorn. If I go around Jamaica saying there was no such person as Marcus Garvey, that is equivalent to your position, Anthony. Me don't want to talk to you no more because, brother, you know, when I talk to idiot, your head hurt you. Your head hurt you, brother. Can't bother. I'm a Jamaican accent that come out the backside. and I don't usually talk in this way. It's terrible. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wait, is that random villager in my viewers? Well, go on, random villager. Everything good, my brother? Everything good? Show that comment in the thing, man. Well, go on. How things? Let me see random villager go say anything at all. Heal up one fellow Jamaican. Yo, we are yardy, you know, so we're supposed to stick together. We're supposed to hate each other. But we can't call each other either when we find foolishness. And maybe random villager they are work. Because they say, I'm a mechanic, so maybe you're not going to talk right now. Blessings and respect to your random villager. Blessings and respect every time. All right. So, the topic at hand is biblical slavery, rightly understood. And when an atheist comes up, I always try to find their justification for their moral ethics. The guy who was here earlier, the atheist that I had to kick off the page when he crossed the line with me, he said that morality is grounded in logic. And then he said that logic is transcendental. And then when we got to the nitty-gritty of it, about the universe, he said the universe is eternal. The universe is not eternal, guys. And what I'm going to do to help us is I'm going to ask my AI, and we're going to see before. Hey, ChatGPT, are you there?
I'm right here, still with you. What's on your mind now?
Is the universe eternal?
I'm all ears. What's up?
Is the universe eternal?
That's one of those big philosophical and scientific questions. From a scientific perspective, the universe as we know it likely had a beginning, what we call the Big Bang, about 13.8
Okay, very good, ChatGPT. So I guess I asked you the wrong question. Based upon scientific evidence, is the universe eternal?
Based on current scientific understanding, the universe isn't eternal in the past. The evidence suggests it had a beginning, the Big Bang, where space, time, and matter all emerged about 13.8 billion years ago.
Okay, very good. So, Grok, why do atheists and non-believers and people from other perspectives continue to say that the universe is eternal. Would you say that they are denying the scientific evidence?
It's not so much that atheists or non-believers as a group claim the universe is eternal. Many fully accept the Big Bang. But some philosophical perspectives or certain older ideas toyed with a steady state or eternal universe. In modern science, the Big Bang is well evidenced. If someone still argues for an eternal universe, they might be holding a philosophical or speculative position, but it wouldn't align with the dominant cosmological model.
Okay, so you're saying that it would not correspond with the scientific conclusion. So if they're coming from a place of science, they're saying that they are using science as their standard. If they say that the universe is eternal, they are misrepresenting what the scientific consensus is, right?
Exactly. If someone is claiming to follow current scientific consensus, then saying the universe is eternal would be off the mark. The Big Bang model, which is the prevailing scientific understanding, indicates a beginning. So from a science-based standpoint, calling the universe eternal would indeed misrepresent the consensus view.
Okay, thank you very much, ChatGPT.
You're very welcome.
All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be quoting, because this topic came up from the last guy who was here. He said that the universe is eternal, but the universe, the eternality of the universe is a myth. It's a belief that is not backed by scientific evidence, coming from people who claim to be supporters and upholders of the scientific method. The universe is not eternal. And this is what the experts say. So we have first Stephen Hawking. He says the universe had a beginning. Time itself started at the Big Bang. There was no before. Roger Penrose. He says the Big Bang marks the origin of our universe. Entropy was low then, proving it wasn't eternal. Alexander Alexander Vilenkin. Any expanding universe must have a beginning. No eternal past is possible without exotic physics we don't see. Another one. Alan Guth. The Big Bang was the start. Inflation doesn't make it eternal. It just stretches from a tiny point. And finally, I'm going to quote one more. George Ellis, the universe is finite in time. Observations like CMB and redshift rule out an eternal model. So, guys, that's what I was trying to point out to the atheist who was up here, that I had to kick off my live, and I never want him to come back. I hope when he sees my lives, he just scrolls past, because I don't ever want to see you again, Deers or Veers, whatever your name is. I even forgot your name. I never want to see you again. Don't come back on my live. This guy, oh boy. Oh boy. I choose who I want to speak to. Bible tells me not to throw my pearls to swine. The guy's a swine. I'm not talking to him ever again. So don't ever come back on my live. Let me see here. So James Peebles, one more. The universe began with a hot, dense state. CBM proves it. No room for an eternal past. So, guys, the universe is not eternal. All of you atheists over there, all of you, I'm saying over there, all of you atheists on YouTube watching this video, if you believe that the universe is eternal, you are going against the scientific consensus. Congratulations. You're contradicting yourself. All right, let me see what else. Let me see what else. stupid argument. Oh man, I need to write my sermon. I need to write my sermon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the video on YouTube right now, and then if we have any more interactions in the future, I'll start another YouTube video. But I'm gonna stay on my live on my phone while I put my sermon together for tomorrow, and welcome any interaction. So, guys, all of you in the chat, all of you watching right now, share the live so we can get more views, get more people on to have more productive conversations. I'm going to end on YouTube. And everybody on YouTube, you watch this video and you see another one pop in, it's because you know I had some more interactions. But if you don't see another video today, it's because there were no more interactions, all right? So I'm going to end the video here and start my sermon and finish it for tomorrow. So God bless you all on YouTube. Until next time.